All right. Great. Uh-oh. I've got too much going on. Way to go, Don Armstrong.
Don's disco music.
I know, sorry. I was a DJ at one time. Here we go. What do they say? Better late than never?
Yep.
Yeah. Good morning and welcome to the N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Mike Quincy and Consumer Reports Top 10 Picks. Can't wait to talk to Mike about that. I got to drive the 2023 Cadillac Escalade, or as I like to call it, the Escalade
Man,
V series.
Be still my heart.
I'll give you my impression of it. We'll also have the cruise-in calendar. Later, Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and I'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Just ahead on this edition of the N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Hello, and along with Mike Mars, King Conrad DeLong, we need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this chilly morning in Houston, Texas. I hope it's nice where you are, wherever you are around the globe, because we now are reaching people on the other side of the earth.
How can that be? The earth is flat.
That's what we think of it.
They're upside down. They're hanging on.
There you go.
Mike Quincy, good morning to you.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Well, we're doing great. Thanks so much. Mike is with Consumer Reports. What's your title there, Mike?
I'm an automotive specialist, and I have no idea what that means.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to ask you about that. So is there like a division of Consumer Reports that does auto?
Absolutely. In fact, the main office of Consumer Reports is in Yonkers, New York, and that's where they test appliances, electronics, where advocacy offices are, all the administrative stuff. But I work at the Consumer Reports test track, which is in Colchester, Connecticut, and we do cars, we do tires, and we do child safety seats. So if you think that a Consumer Reports car guy has any advice for which refrigerator to buy, you're completely out of luck. I have no idea what to tell you.
Well, I'll have to tell you, I've driven some refrigerators before. Does that count? So, Mike, how many people are on the staff in the automotive department?
We have about 25 people
Jeez.
at the Consumer Reports test track, and these are made up of engineers, editorial folks, statisticians, administrators, and a bunch of maintenance folks that take care of the grounds. We have 327 acres to take care of. It's the site of the old Connecticut Dragway. So if you Google Connecticut Dragway, you will see how the track used to look before we bought it in the 1980s.
That's really cool. I love to hear those sorts of things. And I was thinking that when I found out we were going to talk to you this morning, I thought, man, I want to ask him, what is the inside skinny there with Consumer Reports? They've got to have a staff. Well, now we know it's a couple of dozen people. Well, that's good to know. All right, so let's get on with today's subject, and let's talk about the top 10 picks in cars and trucks. And I assume that these are Consumer Reports picks. First of all, let's qualify or quantify that. And
Gotcha. Just checking volume.
yeah, well, it's working really well over there. Let's talk about what defines the top 10 picks.
Sure. To be recommended by Consumer Reports, a vehicle has to do well in our testing. It has to have at least average or better scores in our member surveys for reliability and owner satisfaction. And it can't fail any crash safety tests, and it has to have lots and lots of standard safety features as standard equipment on all the trim lines. So we're talking about forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection at highway speeds, because we don't think that you should have to spend an arm and a leg to get all the safety features. And so now with the Consumer Reports top picks, these are the best of the best, the cream of the crop, the valedictorians of the class. These are the models that top their category in certain price ranges as being the ones that tested and scored the absolute number one.
So, Mike, you could buy a $25,000 car and get all those safety features on that car.
Right, and that's something to keep in mind when you think about the average price of a new car, which I think is like $46,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's expensive.
Yeah, so there are a number of vehicles. In fact, I think there's There's 5 vehicles on Consumer Reports top picks list that are $35,000 or less. It's starting with the Toyota Corolla Hybrid, and the Toyota Corolla Cross, the Camry. These are all models that did really well in Consumer Reports testing. Very fuel efficient, super reliable, and and affordable if you're in the market for a new car.
So let's just get into it, shall we? Where do you want to start? You want to start with luxury? You want to start with price categories? How you define it?
Well, I'm thinking, Texas. I am a member of the Texas Auto Writers because I used to live in Austin, and they gratefully let me keep my membership. So I would say let's start with a pickup truck, and in this case, it's the Ford Maverick Hybrid. This model did really well in our testing. 37 miles per gallon overall for a pickup truck.
That's insane.
It's absolutely incredible. And listen, it's not an F-150. It's not a Silverado. It's not a Ram 1500. But for a lot of people that live in suburban environments, like I do, and a lot of people do, a small pickup truck absolutely fits the bill. No, it's not going to tow an enormous Airstream trailer or a horse trailer or anything like that. But it is a very civilized alternative to a huge pickup truck. Low base price, starts around $22,000. It has great handling. It's comfortable. It has good seats. It has easy controls. And listen, I'm glad to see more and more smaller pickup trucks in the marketplace.
Well, that's interesting that you should say it's that the Maverick, because Mr. Mars has a review of the Maverick in our last hour of the show.
Mm-hmm. And I happen to be driving the hybrid Maverick today.
Oh, cool.
I drove it over here, so I'm real interested. It's interesting that it pops up on his list.
Were you hauling anything? Donkey or anything?
I was hauling a couple of donkeys this morning trying to keep up with the traffic.
Now, you can interpret that any way you want to, but anyway, we'll move on from that.
I think I know the vernacular for donkeys.
Exactly. Well, let's keep Austin weird and just keep on going. Let's talk about automobiles under 25,000.
So one of the ones that really pops up, and it's very, very deserving, is the Toyota Camry Hybrid. Listen, a lot of people know the Camry. It's very popular. However, the Hybrid really is the pick of the litter here. 47 miles per gallon overall in Consumer Reports testing. It's comfortable. It has lots of convenient features. As I mentioned before, lots of standard safety features. It has got great reliability. Listen, Toyota's been working on hybrid technology since like the year 2000, I believe. They've really got it down to a science. And these are complicated cars when you're talking about having an internal combustion engine with an electric motor and battery packs, and they're swapping back and forth all the time. This is not just a straightforward technology. So you got to give hats off to Toyota for sticking with this technology, perfecting it, and the hybrids from Toyota's lineups, whether it's Toyota or Lexus, have been super, super reliable.
Well, I have to tell you that I remember vividly, and I'm sure you do too, when the Prius came out, we were all blown away. No, it's not a race car. No, it's not a track car. It's none of that. It's good, reliable good, reliable transportation.
Spit it out.
However, I know it's still a little bit early, but I will tell you that it got great gas mileage and it was very comfortable. Looked a little weird, and it got this reputation among car people of being, nah, are you kidding me? It's a Prius. Well, okay, you can think that if you want, but it has a lot to offer people in a decent price range.
And it does what it says it's going to do. And Toyota's Synergy Drive, they've laid that out over a multitude of platforms and have proven all of them successful.
Yeah. And, I will say this about Toyota. They've kind of gotten a bad rap in the press about the fact that, they're way behind on EVs. And that's really not the case, is it, Mike?
Well, it technically, when you think about EVs, there's electrification, and electrification is kind of a broad automotive term that says it's either a pure EV, it's a plug-in hybrid, or it's a hybrid. So in some ways, Toyota has been along with electrification, as we mentioned, for like 22 years. Now, for pure EVs, no, they're not really. I don't think they're betting the farm on pure EVs, mainly because the battery technology isn't quite there yet, despite the success that Tesla and others have had. I don't think there's a lot of profitability in selling EVs also, again, despite Tesla. So I'm not sure that Toyota thinks that that's the future. I mean, I think they're from a technological standpoint, I think they believe a lot more in hydrogen fuel cells, which, is a different kettle of fish because that doesn't have an infrastructure either, like electric vehicles don't have an infrastructure. But so I get the criticism for Toyota not being in pure EVs, but I also understand it from a business standpoint why they're not.
Well,
yeah, why be the guy that's out there spending all the money to figure everything out? Let Tesla do all that and some of the others. Work on the hybrids, which I prefer. I actually think are better than the EVs for a lot of reasons, and at least for now.
So my feeling is, that Toyota, I think, is doing the right thing because I believe that EV is not going to sustain a car company unless it's some specialty thing like a Rivian or something like that. I think that the real success is going to become a blend of gasoline, hybrids, and EVs, don't you?
Myself, speaking for Consumer Reports, we agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that EVs are good for some people. They're not good for everyone. It really, people will think I'm going to save money if I buy an EV, and the answer to that dilemma, if you want to call it, is yes and no. It depends where you live. It depends on your electricity rate. And also, comparison, it depends on how much gasoline costs where you live. For example, an electric vehicle versus a gas vehicle in Massachusetts versus California. California has cheaper electric rates than Massachusetts. Massachusetts has cheaper gasoline than California. So it's not a slam dunk here. It isn't a universal truth that an EV is right for everyone. It is right for some people. And in fact, one of the top picks for the April issue of Consumer Reports is the Nissan Leaf, which is not too expensive. We're talking around $30,000. It has a range from 149 to 212 miles. If you're not doing massive road trips, if you're not living in like the Midwest where there's huge distances between everywhere you want to go, you're just living in town, you're commuting to work, it's a short commute, you're not driving that far, a Nissan Leaf makes all the sense in the world.
Right.
But it's not. See, I'm drawing a line between there are folks that say, well, everyone should drive an EV, and I definitely don't agree with that.
Right.
To that point, it's exactly how you use that vehicle is how you're going to benefit from it.
Let's get back to the top 10 picks. So what else is on the list there?
Well, since we're talking about EVs and everybody wants to talk about Tesla, the Tesla Model 3 is a Consumer Reports top pick. And listen, this car really deserves it. It is an absolute thrill to drive for all of the big block muscle cars and Corvettes that I've driven in my life. There is nothing that can accelerate like an electric vehicle. Granted, it's not as viscerally satisfying, but man, is it quick. It's so quick, it hurts my head. But it's not just about acceleration. This car has really good steering. It has sports car-like handling. But really what puts the Tesla 3 really over the edge for recommending it so highly, it's not only that it gets 358 miles on a charge in the top trim line, but it's the Tesla supercharger network that makes the livability, the kind of day-to-day, whether you're running errands around town or you're actually going on a road trip. The Tesla supercharger network is better than any other EV infrastructure going. And as we mentioned before, the EV infrastructure is pretty thin. So just because you can get into the Tesla supercharging network is a huge advantage for this car.
And that network is expanding almost daily. They just put in 12 charging stations up near my house, which I watched the construction going on. I'm like, what a weird spot to build something. And then all of a sudden, up popped the little Tesla.
And on the news reports this week that Tesla is letting other folks use their technology for other brands for the charging systems.
So. It's about time. They should all have the same plugs. I mean, can you imagine? You buy an electric razor and you want to go plug it in, but it depends on what state or what house you're in. The plug doesn't work. I mean, they're all universal for a reason. As I think every EV charging station and input for an electric car should be as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, you use the beta model, and I'll go ahead and use the VHS model, and we'll see who wins that battle. So let's move on. Let's talk about something more upscale. I see that you've got a Lexus in there.
Right, and actually, this is funny. This is the vehicle that I drove home just the other day. I have this for the long weekend. The NX is a very, very nice car. Think of it as a super upscale Toyota RAV4. It has incredible fit and finish. The seats are wonderful. It's quiet. The controls are pretty easy to deal with. What I like also is 38 miles per gallon in a luxury car. And it has the practicality of a fold-down rear seat and a hatchback. Ours has all-wheel drive, which is good if you're living here in the Northeast. And it has that typical Lexus reliability, and it has active safety features that are standard, such as blind spot warning and rear cross traffic warning. So this really is a complete package. And this is the second generation of NX. The first one didn't impress us all that much. This one is much improved.
What do you think is going to be the highest selling vehicle amongst your list there?
Wow. I would say the Kia Telluride is just a juggernaut since it debuted a few years ago.
I agree with you. Yes. Yeah.
It has blown us away. And I remember telling a couple of my friends after we tested the first Telluride that were in the market for a family vehicle. And I said, jump on one. If you can get it, get it. And obviously, since the pandemic, getting a Telluride is impossible, just like for a lot of cars. But I mean, I think Kia has absolutely hit a home run with this vehicle. And everyone that I talk in anecdotally, but I mean, listen, people that I talk to that have this love this car. So I think Kia is selling absolutely everyone they can build.
See, I'm not on that train. I don't think that vehicle is appealing. I just, for some reason,
because you're
I just
old.
Don't get it.
Because we're old.
It's just too big for me.
Oh, it's
It's close to Tahoe size.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's an odd size to me.
Well, I mean, you also have to keep in mind that this is a different generation.
Mm-hmm.
They grew up in SUVs, and that size, I think, strikes a real note with many, many people because it fits for them, young families especially. Don't you agree, Mike?
Well, yeah, and the question was, what do I think is the top selling? So, because I also agree. I mean, for my family situation, my boys are like 19 and 23, so I don't need 3 rows of anything. I don't need a 3-row minivan. I don't need a 3-row SUV. I don't need that much room. But for most families, young families especially, they're always looking for a 3-row vehicle. Now, listen, I got nothing bad to say about minivans. I think they're completely underrated. Like the Toyota Sienna minivan, they're all hybrids. They get great fuel economy. They're super reliable. They're very easy to live with. When you've had small kids, a minivan is absolutely the best, easiest vehicle around. But people don't like the image. So they say, well, I want 3 rows and I want an SUV, or they say, I need an SUV. Most people don't need an SUV. Most people will never tow anything with their SUV, but that is the family vehicle of choice. So, but I totally get it. And I don't, 3-row vehicles completely lost on me at this stage of my life.
But the family may be moving half of the Little League baseball
That's
team
true,
or
yeah.
water polo team from location to location. That's where that 8-passenger, 9-passenger vehicle comes in important.
So how are we going to wrap this up this morning, Mike? What would you like to talk about next?
Well, I would say go to consumerreports.org. Check out all the information that we've got. I mean, Consumer Reports is a subscription-based service, but for a limited time, these articles on the top picks, most reliable, highest rated for owner satisfaction. We also have an EV and hybrid kind of hub within the cars section of the page. Check it out. They're going to be free for a little bit while longer. That they won't be behind the paywall. So I would say for all of your automotive needs, check out consumerreports.org. But don't look me up for a recommendation on a microwave oven.
Dang.
Well, I'll tell you this. All of us want to come up there and be you for at least a week.
When it gets warmer.
In the spring,
Hey,
in
July.
the spring.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys get to the Northeast. I will absolutely arrange to get a tour for you so you can see the facilities. Go for some hot laps around the track. I would be honored to give you guys a tour of the track.
Mike, thanks so much. We really appreciate that, and we appreciate you taking the time on a Saturday morning to talk to us. We'll hope to talk to you again very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
so
Mike.
much for having me on.
You bet.
Mike
Thanks,
Quincy
sir.
with Consumer Reports. I just love to talk to those guys.
Very good information.
Yeah, I know.
They're passionate. They
we
know
could
what
have
they're
an
talking
entire
about.
hour
I know.
with him and still not finish it.
And the time to go to Connecticut is October when the colors are changing.
Yeah.
What's the temperature?
Road trip. Well, we're going to go up to Granbury in the Lodestar Throwdown.
Yeah,
so
we
last year we
it
went-
can't be much further on the map.
you can't. No, just a.
It was over 100 degrees
tiny
in Granbury.
bit. Let's talk about today's cruise-in calendar. Mr. Conrad DeLong has the cruise-in
Dun, dun,
calendar.
dun.
You're it. You're on.
I know I'm on. I'm fumbling through my stuff trying to find it.
There you go.
I hate that fumbling through stuff.
Sunday, February 26th is Cars and Cocktails at Little Woodrow's in Tomball. That starts at 11 a.m., goes on to 3 p.m. March 25th is the Spindletop Car Show at Church on the Rock out there by Mars.
That's the reason that we're talking
It's
about
on
it,
Mars?
because it's out there.
What
Yeah,
about
it's on
Venus?
Mars.
What about Venus?
Men are from Venus.
Anyway, go ahead, please.
April 2nd, Sunday, April 2nd, from 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. is the Woodlands Cars and Coffee for a Cause off of Market Street. April 12th, from noon to 6 p.m. is the Texas Pony Party at the
The
commemorative.
pony party.
I think it's
My
a
Little
must-
Pony.
I'll tell you what,
My Little
you're
Pony.
dancing on the
Mustang
edge
show.
when you say it that way.
Mhm.
the commemorative Air Force Central Texas Wing. April 14th through the 16th is the Lone Star Convention, hosted by the Central Texas Chevrolet Club at the Embassy Suites in San Marcos. June 24th, starting at 10 a.m. through the 25th, ending at 9 p.m., is the Lone Star Drift Round 3 at the Houston Police Academy.
Okay.
Up there by the airport.
Could you move that microphone a little bit closer to your mouth, please?
Am I
No, not popping the peas. I don't have any more room to turn you up over here.
The Good Guys Summit Racing Lone Star Nationals at Texas Motor Speedway, September 29th from 9 a.m. through October 1st at 4 p.m.
That it?
That's it.
All right.
Mr. Mars, how's your breakfast down there this morning? I'm sure I'm glad
It's
that you're-
all over the
great.
table.
It's all over the table. I'm glad he's joining in the conversation, aren't you?
If we have a computer malfunction, it's because of all the sugar from your donut landing on your keyboard.
And-
You
You know-
brought it.
Yeah, but you ate it.
There's going to be instructions next week.
All right, time now for this hour's car review. Had a chance to drive the 2023 Cadillac Escalade. Some people call it an Escalade V series.
That's all you got to say.
What a hot
The
rod.
review is over.
That pretty much,
I
yeah,
love
for
it.
Jeff anyway. It comes in many trim levels. It starts off with the luxury, the premium luxury, sport, premium luxury platinum, sport platinum, and the V at the top of the heap. All new for 23 is the V. This is a standard SUV, body on frame, full size SUV, 7 occupants up to, including the driver. Exterior changes from last model year, not many. This 5th generation Escalade was introduced in, this particular one was introduced in 2021. Okay? Took them a couple of years to build enough of those supercharged V8 engines to get it ready for the Escalade. Exterior features: black grille with smoky gray wheels with the V emblem on the flanks.
Look good.
Squinty headlights up high on the nose, tail lights from roof to midline. Quad chrome exhaust tips, which is unique for the V. Tall, vertical daytime running lights. Red brake calipers and ginormous rotors on this thing. It's not even a pie plate. This is a pizza pan.
Yeah.
I love ginormous.
What I like, everything. This ain't your mama's caddy Escalade. What could use improvement? Add some wings and it will fly.
Well, but could be, at 3 o'clock in the morning, it could annoy your neighbors because it had such a beautiful rumble to it.
Well, and
but
especially
the exhaust was loud.
when you start it up, I think it's pretty much open exhaust all the way to the back, and then it quickly chomps down on it. But yes, it is loud.
So there ain't no sneaking home at 2:00 in the morning.
Well, it could be, as
Becky.
long as you put it in
Just saying.
neutral and you turn the motor off.
If you're,
and you know what I'm talking
if
about.
you're coming home in that, you want everybody to see you in it. You don't want to sneak around in it.
Not at 3 or 4 o'clock.
I
in the
don't
morning.
care. Just tub it out.
It sounded so good.
Interior
it's already
highlights.
got the LS.
A layered glass dash is beautiful with a unique instrument cluster. Upscale, top-notch, detailed leather appointments exclusive to the V. Different hard trim available for different levels of the V. Climate controls are separate pod at the bottom of the center console. Does that make sense to you? Cargo trunk room, massive with the seats folded down. What I like, GM's infotainment system is great. What could use improvement? I got a big question mark there because I don't know. You can't throw any more at an SUV than this one. You got the power. You got all of the room. The ride and the handling is great. We'll get to that in a minute. 6.2-liter supercharged V8 with 682 horsepower and
Be still, my heart.
653 pound-feet
Oh,
of
my
torque.
goodness.
10-speed automatic transmission. Tow rating, 7,000 pounds. Haul rating, 1,330 pounds.
No,
Big
haul
donkey.
rating is donkey.
Donkey
Honking, yeah, okay. Miles per gallon. Oh, this is great. 11 miles per gallon in the city, 16 on the highway for combined of 13. And believe it or not, I got 15.9. Over 310.4 miles. What I liked, power, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And
What
gobs
could use
of it.
improvement? Take the performance pages from the Hellcats and put it in this. It doesn't have that. Now, you can change things around a little bit, but not like you can the Hellcat. And this one begs for that. But you're not going to take this drag racing because it weighs 4 tons, almost 4 tons, 8,000 pounds. So that 682 horsepower I'm talking about,
is working.
it works a lot.
The only thing I would recommend is an adaptable suspension, so you could literally lower the vehicle. Because I thought, looking at it, it rode high on the wheels and tires.
Well, I think that they don't do that because of the horsepower and the way that the whole thing is set up. Obviously, on the other Escalades, that's available. Almost 4 tons. That's a lot. Base trim price.
Here we go.
Base trim price.
Hold me
For
down.
the V. You can get into a V starting at $151,090. Price is tested, $155,365. Chump change to you, Conrad. Base model price. You just want to drive an Escalade? You can for $79,295. Okay? So
in the
we're-
slow lane.
Class
compared to the
C.
base.
yeah, the slow lane, and it's still not
Tiny
slow.
tires.
Now, based on the base model price, Lincoln Navigator goes for $77,635, Lexus LX 600 $87,815, and the Infiniti QX80 goes for $72,700.
But
No,
none of them offer a performance vehicle like the V.
That's what I was
They
just
don't
about to
sound
say.
the
That's
same.
Thank you,
and
Cadillac.
that is my review of the 2023 Cadillac Escalade.
Somebody wipe that smile off of his face.
The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts at your fingertips and over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier car cruise-in returns Saturday, April 15th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Bring your Hot Rod Classic, Resto Mod, or any other vehicle you'd like to show and compete for one of 3 highly coveted Chili Pepper trophies. This April 15th kickoff event is one you'll want to put on your calendar because 100% of the money you donate for the free tacos will be given to God's Garage. You heard right. Free tacos. Whatever you decide to give, all of it will be given to God's Garage and matched by Lupi Tortilla. God's Garage gifts vehicles to single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military in the greater Houston area. In fact, the garage will gift a vehicle to a mom in need at this special event. Be sure to attend the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday, April 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Free breakfast tacos for any donation to God's Garage. It'll make your heart and your belly feel good. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Welcome to the NWell Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, racing season officially begins this weekend, and Mr. Roundy Round, Rodney Rodriguez, joins us to call the play-by-play. Later, Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and we'll get you updated on the stories making car news this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin.
Yep.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this chilly Saturday morning here in the Houston area. Joining us right now, Rodney Rodriguez. Good morning, my friend. How are you? Oh, sorry. No, are you unmuted?
It's on his end.
It's on your end. You got to unmute yourself. You know about unmute? There you go.
You'll get this broadcasting stuff down pretty good there, Rodney.
No, you hit it. You hit it twice, and you're muted again.
Uh-oh.
No, you muted again.
There we go. Now we're good.
Yeah.
Now we're good.
How long you been in radio?
Yeah, really? Uh-huh.
I know, right? It's like, people tell me I talk too much, so I just kind of keep my stuff muted.
He's got to call the race twice.
Now, did you just get out of bed?
No. I wish. Today's a full day. Today's just a totally full day. So it started early. But I was laughing when you guys were talking about on that review about getting home late with a very loud car. We used to, there was nothing like dropping a brand new engine in a short track race car, and you're done at 3 a.m. and it's like, well, we got to see if it's going to start. And you're like in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
On yet, none of that stuff.
Now, not only does Roddy call play-by-play at racetracks around the United States, he's also a racer himself. Mm-hmm. Do you have a race car now?
I do, but I don't race it. But I was actually talking to some folks during the week, and I think I know of at least 2 opportunities to be behind the wheel this year. So it's, I tried to not do that because you get behind the wheel and it's like you're ready to do it full time again. It's like
a little teaser doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, I think that they need to have a special announcer class. And I could probably borrow somebody's car. I don't mind losing.
Well, you got a Corvette,
but I think that's not that kind of race car. Thank you. That's not going to happen. But I think that the announcer class. What do you think?
They did it one year. They used to do like a special announcer race somewhere. I think it was up in North Texas, and they invited me to come out. But I was like, I was a full-time racer at that point. I mean, I was doing both. I was like announcing and racing.
I think you should do it. Announcing
as
while
you're
driving.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
Holy cow!
The race.
This moron ahead of me. Get him out of my way.
Put him in the fence.
That would have to be like on Showtime or something because
absolutely.
It would be extremely graphic.
Rubbing is racing.
We're your biggest fan, and I can only imagine we're gonna make you a rich man with all these great ideas we've got for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's settle down and let's talk about this. I guess this weekend marks the beginning of the official racing season.
Yeah, in mainstream circles it does because we're at Daytona and they've been there all week. The Rolex 24 was a couple of weeks ago, so that actually kind of fired everything off, and then the Busch Light Clash that they had at the LA Coliseum kind of kicked off the NASCAR stuff. This is really the one where NASCAR has every year that Fox has the Super Bowl, which they did this year. It's always really a good thing for NASCAR because you get as the NFL season winds down, those final 4 weeks or whatever, you start getting that Daytona 500 push lumped into all of those conference championships and Super Bowls. And that's what's happened this year. And I think that, the place, Daytona's sold out, camping sold out, the fan zone is sold out. So I think they're going to be in a really good place. And this is all whether the weather cooperates or not, which I think it should. I think that the TV ratings are going to be really good for this and get in front of a bunch of new people.
I was going to say, what's the drama behind the scenes with these new drivers and people moving around teams and that sort of stuff?
I think the biggest thing this year is obviously the move with Kyle Busch. All the years they're driving for Joe Gibbs, and they can't get him any sponsorship, and he moves over to RCR, which was, of course, the Earnhardt car, the Earnhardt team for so long, and now here's Kyle Busch with a full inventory of sponsors that Richard Childress has been able to get for him. He's in a car that last year won three races, so he's in a really good spot. I think this is a rejuvenated Kyle Busch. He's feisty as ever already. I think this is a year where we're really going to follow the storyline of Kyle Busch, just trying to prove to everyone that he is still the man.
Rowdy.
Yeah, because, I think the whole situation with, we can't get you any sponsorship, Kyle. I think that's something that for a competitor like Kyle Busch is really going to rub at him. And he's got a point to prove.
What did you think about that I still don't quite understand fully? The thing that nobody went to in the Rose Bowl, that silly race out, huh?
The Clash.
Yeah. Oh man, what is that? What is that? Explain that to me, would you?
I really have no problem with that, to be honest with you, because I grew up at quarter mile short tracks. Obviously, not that fancy. The ones I went to were pieces of junk, but I like the concept, and it's not really a new concept because back in the 40s, they raced not. Obviously NASCAR stock cars, but back in the 40s, they raced midget cars. Is that all right to say? I always say every time I say midget car.
Yeah.
Little people cars.
Yeah.
That's right. They raced midget cars there in the LA Coliseum. And then back in the 50s, they ran at Wrigley Field. So it's not really a new thing. And one of the biggest fan popular racetracks is a place in North Carolina called Bowman Gray Stadium.
Yeah.
And that is essentially an old football field that they run around, and they sit there and beat the tar out of each other and fight and do all of this. So it's not a new concept, but it's a new concept for NASCAR. And I think where NASCAR is getting kind of the response like yours, Don, is it's all the other Mickey Mouse stuff. I don't need the music. I don't need all of that. Yeah, I don't need that.
Listen, I grew up on half-mile asphalt racetracks, as you know. We've talked about that. Myers Speedway, Houston, Texas. That was my thing. I love short track racing. That's our thing. You, Gina Child Knowles over there in Alabama. The whole thing is just great. But to have it a specially made track in a historic Rose Bowl with millions of seats and nobody shows up. There's definitely something lacking there. And they do this wide shot. There's nobody there.
And they're giving away tickets to USC students and then going up there and interviewing them, and they have no clue what they're looking at.
Right. Exactly. And it just doesn't work. Put it at a racetrack. I think it would do much better.
Gina needs a halftime show, and she could
Gina needs to get out there and tell them how to do it and let her run it.
She could get Elton John or something for halftime.
It's definitely an exhibition. To make no bones about that. But it's a matter of NASCAR just trying to capture that market and that LA market. Back when the season actually used to start back in the 70s. It started at Riverside.
Oh yeah,
they would race. Yeah. They'd race at Riverside in the early part of January, and you were off, and then we went to Daytona. But, they tried to – Ontario, that one, they just couldn't get that one. They really want that Southern California market to just tie itself in. But those folks are not going to sit and watch a 3.5-hour race.
I got an idea. Why not do a street race? How about the Long Beach race?
Well, that's actually where I was going, because this year they'll do –
Chicago.
The Chicago race. And we'll find out what's going to happen with that.
It's the drive-by 500, isn't it?
The drive-by 500.
Yeah. We'll see how that works out. But now they're talking about tapping into New York, which I'm not sure about that. I say go to Canada. I mean, go to Canada.
Get the double tap.
I was in Mexico a month and a half ago, and I talked to all these different people, and they're like, "We love NASCAR. Do it in Mexico. Do it somewhere else. I mean, it doesn't have to be one of these major hubs."
No,
Well, I totally
in
agree
my
with you
opinion.
because look at the success, I think, of the NFL going to Europe and playing exhibition games. Well, they're not actually they're actual games that count. But to them, they pack the stadiums over there. Give it something new. Give it a different twist, but not the Rose Bowl.
Go to Australia and make
Mexico
right turns.
City, yeah.
There you go. That's it. All right, so let's talk about short track here for a while. Let's talk about Gina over there in Mobile, and anything else you want. What do we have here in Texas that's left in an asphalt?
Well, here, Houston, March 11th, I think, is when that fires off. So,
Are you announcing that?
not that I know of. I haven't been invited.
Okay.
So,
Neither have I.
Neither have I. But now I'll tell you, with Gina's, that April 1st one, that's the opening day for that one. And that you want to talk about starting out with a sprint, man. That is a super late model. Davidson Electric 125. We did that race last year there with the SRL National Tour. We'll have some of the best hot shoes in the country that'll come be blazing up that half mile. That's going to be one to see. It's going to be an interesting year for short track pavement racing. With just various new organizations and a lot of competition, trying to keep the cost factor in line. It's going to be an interesting year for short track racing on dirt as well.
Yeah.
You guys have 105 there that has a full schedule out in Cleveland. I think they start there around the same time as the pavement track. And same situation right there, where I think it's a matter of all of these racetracks comes down to cost. I mean, how are you going to keep this cost effective for people to be able to do this and be able to do it for fun? That's going to be the storyline all year that we're going to be monitoring all year in short track racing.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to anything spectacular after the Daytona 500 is concerned in NASCAR?
Well, obviously, I guess, what are we, just over a month out? They'll actually be here in my backyard. They'll in Dakota. So that's always a fun event right there.
As long as it doesn't rain buckets.
Yeah, they still need oars and a canoe.
And I'll tell you where it really sucks, because it happened last year, and I think it happened again. It's happening again this year, to where the weather was great last year, but at the same time you had the PGA here. I mean, so you had the Cup race out in southeast Travis County, and then up in northwest Travis County, you had the PGA golf event happening out on Town Lake or whatever it is out there. And it's like, man, you're splitting the audience, but I know there's only a certain amount of dates, but I think the Dakota thing is good. I mean, to me, it's just on that racetrack, and to watch the Austin crowd, to me, is a lot like what you guys are talking about there with the Southern California people. Mm-hmm. It's like, I go to Dakota for a NASCAR race, and I'm like a genius because nobody knows anything.
We think you're
like,
a genius.
You keep thinking that, Rodney.
I always joke around because I tell people it's so cool to go to the Sunday NASCAR race here, because like the ladies are dressed up like the Kentucky Derby. You know,
Yeah.
big old hats on.
Yeah.
There's dudes in suits, and I'm like, man, it's going to be 85 degrees out here. What are you doing? It's like, it's a racetrack.
Yeah, we need some.
Yeah, but those dudes in suits are spitting tobacco.
Yeah.
And they're up in the suites.
This is Texas.
Yeah, they're up in the suites.
Exactly. So that'll be fun. I mean, for me, obviously that's the first one, but there's lots of, I mean, just the whole schedule. I mean, everything they're going to some different places that are exciting. Man, I'm looking forward to IndyCar. I'm ready for IndyCar.
Have you ever been to Talladega?
I've never been to Talladega. That's as much as I'm in Alabama now, for crying out loud, I need to go, but I want to go there. Here, funny story. I actually had an opportunity that I found out about like 3 days ago to be in Daytona in a suite to this weekend. But it's like, that little thing called a real job and airfare kind of got in the way.
Yeah. Well, we're familiar with that for the most part. I can definitely relate. So how does your schedule look this year? Are you booked every weekend?
No, actually, I'm not. I'll have the Mobile dates. I've got coming up on March the 18th. The weekend of March 18th, I'll be doing the Rattler, which is a huge short track race. That's over at South Alabama Speedway. I'll have that one. Have a couple of other dates in Alabama as well. So it'll be a lot of Alabama for pavement. And then for Texas, probably be doing some Corpus Christi stuff, some Waco. And at this point, that's all I know of. But it's still going to be a lot. It's still going to be a lot. But the thing is, between Dirty Air and Revved Up and Revved Up ATX on the radio, I mean, that it's every week.
Well, as a matter of fact, that's my next question. So tell everybody about your own show that you've got, not only there in Austin, but on the internet as well.
Yeah, the Revved Up Sports Show, that's our original program. And that one tailors a lot more to Texas. And we try to, of course, it's become a Texas dirt show more than anything, because that's what we have. But at the same time, I like to filter in, a good influx of individuals that have done a lot of good things in the state over time. The Texas Legend Series is what I call that. And just let those folks tell their stories. I mean, it's so cool for them. I get so much gratification after talking to like George Hagee, for example, last week. He was just a great racer out of San Antonio. And he's like, I'm surprised people would want to hear my stories. And it's like, dude, we are yearning to hear those stories.
Sure, absolutely.
Things are so different. And then Dirty Air, obviously on Racing America on Thursdays, that one right there, that's full-blown Southeast, short track racing coverage right there with Mobile and Pensacola and, out to Georgia. And I get to talk to guys from all across the country on that one. And that one's done really well, and we'll continue to grow that one.
Yeah. And, well, it's always great to talk to you. And I know that you're going to be the next Dale Earnhardt kind of talk show. And and you're going to go in wheel time.
Who?
I vaguely remember those guys. Yeah, forget them.
Guys, what gets frustrating, and I would hope that y'all feel the same way, is we've been doing this way before they ever thought of it.
That's right. Yes.
Isn't that the sucky part?
Yeah, that is.
I was talking to a business acquaintance the other day, and he's like, "You know what you ought to do? You ought to do a racing podcast." I'm like, "Dude,
Where have you been for the past 12 years?
We had one for almost 15 freaking years, and nobody knows about it."
We know the feeling.
Well, Rodney, you're a 15-year overnight success.
There it is. That's right.
Well, we love you, man. It's always great to talk to you, and hopefully I'll get to run into you at some point this year.
You got it, Don. We got to go raise some hell somewhere.
Well, we're definitely going to do that. All right, brother. Well, stay in touch, and we'll be in touch with you as well. All right, take care.
Thank you, Rodney.
Rodney Rodriguez, Revved Up Sports, Dirty Air, among other things. He jocks records. He races race cars. I mean,
very cool guy.
Yeah, most definitely.
And
all right.
He's just
You
like
want to
that
be
in person.
him, Don.
He's just like that in person, too.
Yeah, I want to remind everybody that we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for This Week in Auto History.
Oh, boy.
And Conrad is chomping at the bit.
So this week in 1989 was when Mazda debuted the Miata, the little roadster with a big personality. The car's been turning heads ever since, putting smiles on drivers' faces, and is a huge part of Mazda's racing program, their road racing program. And Mazda provides just a boatload of support for the Miata racing programs. It's a little bit nostalgic because Mazda tried to duplicate the British Roadster in the Miata, except this one works because it doesn't have Lucas wiring on it. So, but Miata's been quite a hit. In 1998, Dale Earnhardt Sr. finally won the Daytona 500.
I watched a repeat of that just this week on the internet. Wow. And all everybody came out of the pits.
Yeah, this is everybody came out to congratulate him after so many years of finishing near the end, but sometimes,
running out of gas.
Right.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So, and then in 2000 this week, Chrysler released the PT Cruiser begins production. When the car first went on sale, demand often outpaced supply. And the PT Cruiser won the 2001 North American Car of the Year award.
I had one as a company car.
So that says a lot about the taste of
what year was that?
2000.
Yeah, that was a long time ago,
Yeah.
my friend.
And then in 2001, this week was when Dale Earnhardt Sr. lost his life at the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
The pictures were flipped. That's
Okay. What a sad day that was. And with that, it brought a lot of new safety features to NASCAR itself with the Hans device and we had the guy on with the Hans with one of the Hans devices
Yep.
and the softer walls and stuff. So very much a sad day. In 2008, in an attempt to cut costs, struggling General Motors offered to buy out 74,000 of its hourly employees in the United States. The move came after GM lost $38 billion with a B dollars in 2007.
Great management there.
Yeah, and they kept
That's all of it.
their jobs, but everybody else lost theirs.
Right.
Me being one of them. After being involuntarily separated. So, in GM's ingenious way of doing business, they let the field engineers go. So we were the guys who were feeding back what the current product issues were to engineering and the assembly plants. Well, we don't need you. We need all the senior executives who make all the bad decisions that cost GM all the money.
And he's not bitter about it at all.
Next week he's going to tell us how he really feels.
After losing $38 billion in 2007, which at the moment was the largest loss ever experienced by any car maker, 2 weeks later in February, they adjusted that loss to $43 billion because they underestimated $38 billion. So they added another $4.6 billion to it. And then in, what was it?
Was Joe Biden running the company then?
Yeah, hold my beer or hold my fully documented Corvette.
Hold something.
And then
Hold this.
in 2014, in Bowling Green, Kentucky, the GM plant that has been pumping out Corvettes since '91 is just a quarter mile away from the National Corvette Museum, and that was when the sinkhole happened at the National Corvette Museum, and all those cars fell into the sinkhole. Some very, very unique Corvettes fell into the sinkhole. They got all of them out. They actually restored a significant amount of them.
They only lost 3, I think.
And some of them they kept in the damaged state
Yeah, they did.
and still have them on display. You ever been to National Corvette Museum?
Not yet.
You know, the odd thing is it's really just across the highway from the plant. And I would think if there's a sinkhole underneath the museum, is there a sinkhole somewhere underneath the
They're
plant?
waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And then so it swallowed 8 of the museum's prize cars. Now, some of those cars were on loan from General Motors. A lot of those cars there at the museum are on loan from owners as well. And then the museum stores them, keeps them up, keeps them clean. Kind of a nice perk to the owners. But so that was in 2014.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
this week in auto
Oh,
history.
you're done now. Okay. Okay. My daughter is very pregnant, and I'm going to.
They
have
know what
my
causes that, Don.
I'm going to have my first grandchild.
Yay.
It looks like this weekend.
Cool.
The latest of Monday, but
This weekend.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you're on call.
He's on call for the baby.
It's not my baby. It's my grandchild. So
Yeah.
I don't, they'll take care of
I
it
would-
if
I
I'm
would-
not there, but
I
I'm
would hope
planning
it's
on
not
being
your baby,
there.
Don.
We need to get the news chopper over the hospital.
Yeah.
No, we don't. But thank you very much for playing. All right, time now for some of the headlines, some of the stories making headlines this week in the automotive world. Tesla recalling nearly 363,000 vehicles equipped with or pending installation of its full self-driving beta software because of an increased risk of crash. Recall covers certain 16 through 23 Model S and Model X electric vehicles, as well as certain 2017 through 23 Model 3s and 2020 to 23 Model Y vehicles. NHTSA on Thursday said the automaker's self-described full self-driving software, quote, may allow the vehicle to act unsafe around intersections. Act unsafe. Such as traveling straight through an intersection while in a turn-only lane, entering a stop sign-controlled intersection without coming to a complete stop, Who doesn't do that? Or proceeding into an intersection during a steady yellow traffic signal without, quote unquote, due caution.
So it drives like a Texan.
So
That's right.
if a policeman sees the car rolling a stop sign, who gets the ticket?
Elon.
Elon gets the ticket.
Email Elon. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
At elon@inwheeltime.com.
Other recalls, fuel pump may not provide sufficient fuel to the Chevy Equinox and the GMC Terrain for 21 to 22 models. Airbag cover panels may break during deployment on the BMW 230i and the M240i for 23. Engine control unit software may cause a stall on the Toyota RAV4 Prime. That's a 2021 model year. In the 23 Blazer and Traverse from Chevrolet, the half-shaft assembly is missing a retaining ring. Wait, didn't I just see the axle and the wheel just pop past me by on the roadway?
Picked a fine time to leave
As
me
the
loose
car
wheel.
noses over and slides to a stop.
Yeah,
Skids to a stop.
half shaft may separate from the transmission.
No.
On the Cadillac XT5
What?
and the GMC Acadia for 23.
Oh, we can't have that.
An operative rear view camera display doesn't work on the Honda Fit and the HR-V 18 to 22. From the 17 to 19 model years, the Chevy Silverado 2500, 3500, same thing for the Sierra. The rear fuel tank failure may cause an engine stall. You think? It ain't got no fuel,
No gas.
Maudine.
No gas.
Disabled front passenger airbags, BMW 760i and the BMW i7 for 23. The riding mode feature inadvertently has been deactivated, kind of like a lawnmower, on the BMW S1000R and the BMW S1000XR for the 22 and 23. I have no clue.
I
I've
think
never
that's
heard
a
of such a thing.
motorcycle.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't know, so I thought I'd just throw that in there. And by the way, if you hear some loud banging and
Let
some
that guy in.
other crazy stuff like a construction site, there's a new construction site that's popped up right behind our studio here, and it will be there probably for the next 6 months, so we might as well get used to
And
it.
they're back there with the backhoe.
Well, I think
and
today's the
dump truck.
heavy stuff.
Yeah,
They got
all
to
of
dig the hoe.
Time now for a quick break, and we'll be right back here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Stay with us.
Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier car cruise in returns Saturday, April 15th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Bring your Hot Rod Classic, Resto Mod, or any other vehicle you'd like to show and compete for one of 3 highly coveted Chili Pepper trophies. This April 15th kickoff event is one you'll want to put on your calendar because 100% of the money you donate for the free tacos will be given to God's Garage. You heard right. Free tacos. Whatever you decide to give, all of it will be given to God's Garage and matched by Lupi Tortilla. God's Garage gifts vehicles to single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military in the greater Houston area. In fact, the garage will gift a vehicle to a mom in need at this special event. Be sure to attend the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Saturday, April 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Free breakfast tacos for any donation to God's Garage. It'll make your heart and your belly feel good. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.
It's your go-to place for entertaining car talk. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, John Badillo from NHRA joins us to talk about the upcoming 2023 season. Jeffrey has a feature on the 5 Euro cars that can now be sold in the United States after never being allowed to be sold in the United States. He'll explain. Later, we talk to Jackie Hansen from the Lone Star Street Rod Association. Plus, Conrad has the Car Clinic, and I'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. It's all straight ahead on this edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Seekid. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us today on this chilly Saturday. It's supposed to warm up and be really nice here in the Houston area today. Right. What's so funny?
I'm still cold.
Are you?
Yeah, it was.
Well, you had a jacket on. You took it off.
And a scarf and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not cold in Florida, and they're preparing the track down there at the Gator Nationals.
Right.
Well, it's a little ways away yet, but we're going to talk to John Badillo, and he is with the NHRA. John, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Where are we speaking to you from?
I'm in Southern California, actually, in San Bernardino right
now. So you just got out of bed, didn't you?
About an hour ago.
About an hour ago. Okay. We're just getting ready. Put on your makeup for the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
Yes. Got to get all ready.
So, John, what do you do for the NHRA? Explain to everybody that job.
So I'm the senior marketing manager of NHRA. I wear a number of hats. I handle all of our national events throughout the year in terms of pretty much putting on the event from start to finish, everything from, pre-race ceremonies to winner circles to working with our title sponsors, to all the in-venue entertainment and things that you would see at an event. I run a couple of other programs. I also run our Youth and Education Services program, which is a free Friday field trip in which schools come out to our national events and they learn about careers in motorsports, as well as how science, technology, engineering, and math play a role in many careers in the NHRA community. And then from there, I also run our NHRA Launch program, which is a career portal in which those who have a passion for drag racing and motorsports have a resource to find career opportunities and get placed in jobs with organizations all throughout the community, whether it's race teams, any of the NHRA member tracks, manufacturers, all kinds of opportunities that are available to them, entry-level, internship, part-time, seasonal. Basically, it's designed to help those get their foot in the door and make connections that they wouldn't have, they would have struggled to find just on their own.
So, in other words, what you're telling me is that the NHRA is grooming you to be the next president of the organization because your boss used to have your job.
My boss used to have my job. My current boss used to have my job. It's definitely, I think the marketing department of NHRA is really, where the future is heading, continuing to grow the sport. That kind of, our department has its hands in so many areas of the sport, whether it's television, competition, media, we're kind of involved in it all.
We know.
The three entities that you mentioned that you're part of and organize and responsible for, they all intertwine.
They do. I think a lot of it is, it's a big community, it's a big relationship with the racetracks, the race teams, the sponsors. We all have kind of common goals. And yeah, a lot of it is, a lot of those jobs go hand in hand, and a lot of the things that we do out there and, the lives that we work with and the people that we help on some of those, it touches a lot of different aspects of the sport for sure.
Well, I have to tell you that we are really saddened that NHRA will not be here for the first time in decades in the Houston area. And now we've got to focus our attention on the one that does get close to us up in Dallas, the Fall Nationals.
Yep, the Fall Nationals is definitely a great event. The Stampede of Speed, they do a great job out there. It's literally a week-long event. They have testing early in the week. They have exhibition runs. They really are trying to capture embracing the state of Texas, getting people to travel to the event. It's becoming a destination race. They do all kinds of unique activities in the lead up, and it really makes it feel like a bigger event than some of our other national events.
Well, I have to tell you, if somebody were to come up to me today and say, okay, well, where would you go for a race on a summer vacation? I personally would have to say, you need to go to Brainerd, Minnesota. And
Absolutely.
I know you would know exactly what I'm talking about.
The zoo.
The zoo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's its own unique event in itself. I mean, those campgrounds and those fans, they get in there, sometimes the week before.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big party. It's awesome. Like our series sponsor now is Camping World. And I mean, that, it's a perfect fit. I mean, that crowd, bringing in the RVs, staying at the racetrack, just enjoying the summertime.
Well, let's not forget the parade of vehicles that these folks up there, the real car nuts, have concocted in their garage or basements, as it may be, all winter long, and they bring them out. And I know when I was doing the drag racing thing many years ago in 2017, was it 17? I don't remember. It's a long time ago. But at any rate, I will never forget the parade of champions over there on the Saturday night. And it was truly amazing to see the 65-passenger school bus that still had the cab on the front of it. But they had chopped off all of the cab over to the passenger compartment. Okay? That part of it was gone. The floor was still there.
You turned it into a bar.
In the middle of the floor, they turned it into a bar. And here they are parading through, and all these people are sitting around the bar and the big screen TV behind the driver. That takes some clever thinking there.
That one and the pirate ship that they make, I think that one, they have I think they give out awards.
Yes,
the best, I guess you would call it a float, but yeah, I actually know the folks that make the pirate ship one. Some of them used to work on our marketing operations team, but yeah, it's
the NHRA pirate ship.
Nitro Pirates, I think is what they call
Nitro Pirates. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, now that's my take on it. If I were going to offer anybody, fly into Minneapolis, take the whatever it is 90-minute cruise out there to Brainerd, and you will not be sorry. I had the best time out there, I tell you. The hotels out there are very different too, because they have ginormous indoor swimming places, water parks, like at the Motel 6. Massive. The water park is bigger than the actual motel. Because remember, it's geared to ice fishing.
I was going to say, you can only be outside 6 months out of the year.
Yeah,
at the most.
So what are you really looking forward to as far as Gator National is concerned this year?
It's a lot of excitement going into the season. I think it's exciting to have all the pro teams running the season opener. And when we start on the West Coast, we don't have motorcycle there, so everybody's excited. A lot of media days. There's going to be a fan fest on Wednesday leading up. We're going to have a big press kickoff event on Thursday in conjunction with Don Garlitz's Hall of Fame ceremonies that they do every year. Right off the get-go, we're going to have our Top Fuel Pep Boys All-Star Call-Out, which is, big, racing on Saturday, a unique format, which the drivers, actually call each other out and pick who their opponent is. Going to have some great things on site. We're going to have some more pageantry at our events. We're looking to actually incorporate some local marching bands that are come out,
Cool.
entertain the crowd. we're creating a new stage in our midway called the Nitro Alley stage, where there'll be driver appearances, music playing, just a central hub where you can go when, like, for instance, you go watch the pro session, come back to the Nitro Alley stage, and there'll be all kinds of forms of entertainment going on and driver meet and greets and things like that. So just, the off season was a month longer. I think everybody's just ready to get back out there and excited, for a great season. We have another new event that's going to be happening starting in Phoenix called the Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge, where basically if in all the pro categories, if you made it to the semifinals the race prior, so anyone that makes it to the semifinals on Sunday of Gainesville, they're going to race each other on Saturday in Phoenix for basically it's kind of like a grudge race, a rematch of the semis. Person who wins that Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge will get cash bonus, and as well as they get 3 bonus points that go to their point allotment when we reset the field at the countdown. So there's
and a lifetime supply of tacos.
Exactly. There's countdown implications. There's money on the line. There's racing on Saturday. I think that's a big thing you're going to see this year is, actual eliminations happening on Saturday as well as Sunday.
Now, have there been any major changes in the pro classes as far as drivers going to different teams, new teams on the block, that sort of thing?
This year, not a ton that I know of. Obviously, last year was the big changes. Tony Stewart Racing coming in.
Yep.
Leah and Matt, Ron Cap starting his own team, Antron starting his own team. I think it's just more of a continuation of that, seeing these teams that were new last year that are championship contenders right out the get-go. So you're going to see, the continuation of the Justin Ashley, being a championship contender. I think you just see more teams in the mix contending for wins on a regular basis, running in the countdown. It makes it to where, it's just a stronger, field of competitors than you've ever had.
Now, let's not forget about the Pro Stock motorcycle and Pro Stock cars. I know Erica will be going for number 6, and her sister is starting her own thing, because we've always, wherever Erica is, you're going to find Courtney right with her, and Courtney's doing her own thing this year. And I'm sure she'll still be supporting her sister, but I'm looking forward to seeing how that evolves. And Pro Stock motorcycle, that's always an evolutionary kind of division.
Yep, faster and faster.
It'll be interesting, with motorcycle, last year we saw, Joey Gladstone, make a championship run. It's just great to see more people, more teams, having a legitimate shot to go for the championship.
Well, I was thinking we're going to hook up with you at one of the races, maybe in Dallas, and I think that what we should do is kick back, you in the stands with us, drinking some beers, taking our time, really enjoying, absorbing all of the things that go on at an NHRA race.
There we go. That sounds good.
Yeah, I can only.
I can't see you slowing down that much.
I was going to say we'll have to tackle you and hog tie you and put you up in the stands.
Maybe after we're all packed up on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the only ones left in the grandstand.
Yeah, and you're dragging butt, and all you want to do is go to bed and get on the flight the next morning.
You bet.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, John, it's great to talk to you, my friend. Good to catch up, and hopefully we'll plan on Dallas, and if we see you between now and the fall, then we'll say hello.
Absolutely. That sounds great.
Stay in touch with us, man. We'd love to catch up with you at least quarterly.
Yeah, no, and I'll keep you posted on a lot of those programs. The NHRA launch program, I definitely recommend anyone that's aspiring to find a career opportunity in the community of NHRA, definitely check that out, NHRAlaunch.com. The YES program, if you're a teacher, administrator, have any type of youth group and want to introduce, the next generation to an event, it's completely free for anyone that wants to attend. www.nhra.com/yes, and you can get registered at your local event.
John, again, thank you. Great to talk to you. We hope to see you again soon.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
You do the same. John Badillo.
Good
NHRA.
information.
Yeah, it is.
Wears a lot of hats. The guy's a busy man.
You think?
Wow.
And he goes to every event.
Oh, yeah. Like, as soon as the last race is over with, when we got the back-to-back weekends, packs the bag, ready to go when he leaves the hotel on Sunday morning, rush to the airport after the crowd has left on Sunday evening, move on to the next venue.
Yeah.
It is it's mind-boggling and draining at the same time.
That's why they have young men like him doing it instead of people like us.
Like us? I mean, like me is what you're trying to say.
I was
Be
looking
nice
He was
at
about
looking
it.
at
but
you,
I
yeah.
was,
No, I get it. It's okay. My feelings are hurt, as they always are. All right, time now for Mr. Jeffrey's
No,
feature.
racing calendar.
Huh?
Racing calendar?
We can do that. You want to do that?
Well, either
that
way.
Kind of goes, that kind of
Well,
goes hand
we
in
already
hand.
talked about the Gator Nationals.
No, yes, we did.
March 9th through the 12th
Yeah.
in Gainesville. March 24th through the 26th is the Arizona Nationals at Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park in south of Phoenix. March 30th are the Winter Nationals in Pomona. Tomorrow is the Daytona 500. They'll have the Xfinity cars today. They had the
I believe
trucks
so.
last night, and it got a little rainy, but they had the trucks last night. But you look at what's going on in truck and Xfinity, and it is full of kids. I mean, 18, 19-year-old kids.
Don't you wish you were one of them?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. I'm raising my hand for that.
And then, like we talked with Rodney, NASCAR will be at Circuit of the Americas in Austin for the Eco Park Automotive Grand Prix March 26th. So if you want to go to a NASCAR race, bring your umbrella.
But the other thing is that you have to understand, but if you've never been to a race before, there's a big difference in a circle track race. It makes no difference whether it's a half mile or a 2.5 mile like Talladega.
Versus a road course.
Versus a road course. Because the road course, chances are you're only going to see a couple of turns and a couple of straightaways at the most.
Depending on where you set up.
Correct.
Yeah, and if you're in the grandstands on the front straight, you're only going to see the front straight.
Going right past you.
Well, to me, I think probably some of the best seats at COTA are going to be
Up on the hill.
the high turn one seats, because you're going to watch them come down the front straight, and you can watch them go out the back. And
You
through
can
the
do
S's.
that, but I would rather watch all of the action going through the S's.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you can also watch the entire track from that big tower.
Or you
Yeah,
can
but I
also
think
rent a helicopter.
Access to that tower is a little limited.
Or you could be in your living room watching it on TV.
Bingo.
Hello.
Drinking a beer.
Or two,
A lot
Do you,
cheaper. a lot
do you drink beer?
occasionally.
Do you?
And then Formula One starts March 5th in Bahrain. And Michael Andretti and Cadillac won't be there yet.
Mars, what are you doing down there?
IndyCar is March 5th at St. Petersburg. And then the Texas Mile, and we're going to have a tie-in to the Texas Mile with another interview we're going to do here later in the show, is March 24th through the 26th at Chase Field in Beeville, Texas.
Beeville.
And that is a standing start, 1 mile. How fast can you go?
Hello.
And I think the record there now is a little over 300 miles an hour. And that was in that twin-turbo Ford GT.
I don't want to do that. About 150, I think, is my max. And even at that, you ever been 150 miles an hour in a car?
Yeah.
That without any aero, without a real race car, roll bar, none of that. None of that. Just a car.
Z06 Corvette.
On my way here this morning.
I'll never forget going to Memphis. I was on a road trip to Memphis by myself in my old Corvette, and I got it up to 130 on a long stretch. I could see the road for a mile ahead of me. Nothing out in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas. Right?
Oh, yeah.
130 miles an hour, and the back end of the Corvette got pretty darn light. And at
Dancing
130, you have to actually steer it to keep it going straight down the road. No, I'm good.
Yeah, things get a little weird whenever you get very far over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I
you
didn't
go.
mean to interrupt, but go ahead.
Well, that's it.
Okay.
That was it.
Ended on a light tail note.
Light tail. Well, it was Jeff and the light beer.
Yeah.
And you and the tail.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mr. Mars, what have you contributed today?
He ate his
No,
donut.
I was just relating to some of the conversation that I did.
In your
I
own
think I got
mind.
138 in a Hellcat Charger one time.
In a press car?
Well, no, it was on the track, and I had the.
Was it a press car?
Yeah,
He was at a press event.
but it was at a press event.
He took the press
And,
card.
Were you driving it?
Yeah, I was. And the engineer was sitting right beside me.
Ah,
You know, the kind where, you're going across the track and he's trying to tell you how to do things, and you tell you when to go into the turns and all that stuff.
Your wife does that.
And
when
we're
she
going
drives with
down
you.
the straightaway and he's going, brake, brake,
break.
brake, because I'm slowing down. But when he says brake,
Very,
he
very
means,
much like his wife.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was just reminiscing a few things,
Well, I told you my experience at Willow Springs Raceway with Ralph Gilles.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember that. Yeah. And for those that don't know, short, it was another press event put on by Dodge, and they had the new Hellcat out there, and I wanted to ride in the Challenger, and I walked up to Ralph and I said, "Hey, will you go for a ride with me?" And he said, "Sure, come on, let's go." I said, No. I don't want to drive. I want you to. No, you drive. I'll sit in the back. No, I don't feel confident. I want to go for a ride with you.
Yeah, I want to know what this thing will do.
Oh my God. He had the car sideways on the track. Under control, not out of control at all. He knew what he was doing. What the staff up at the start finish line didn't know was that he was driving. They thought it was me. So he pulls into the pit. Here, all these angry men come out. He rolls down the window. "Oh, Mr. Shields, I'm sorry. It's okay. You're great job." Apologizing. I'm sitting there with the big grin on my face,
And wet pants.
and wet pants. It was great stuff. Okay, time now for Jeffrey's 5 European cars that can now be sold in the United States.
All right. Well, it's that time of year. And what we have, some of these brilliant European used cars, Conrad, from the 1990s can now legally be imported to the United States.
If we want to.
Right. These are now 25 years or older and can be legally imported. United States has enthusiasts here, and we've never experienced those kind of cars on our streets.
What we would call gray market cars.
Whatever. But this first one is an Audi RS2 Avant. It's one of the most legendary Audi models of all time.
Can we pronounce it Avant or Avante?
Avant is always credited for making a big deal out of the fast station wagon idea. I love it. It ended up working perfectly, and everyone wants one of these. I know I do. If those wheels and mirrors look familiar on that photo, that's because the car was assembled in collaboration with Porsche. While the components of this car were almost entirely Audi, Porsche took care of the assembly in the same factory as a Mercedes 500e and the Porsche 959 were built in that factory. With the 2.2-liter turbo 5-pot, which means piston in your neck of the woods, Mike, and the Quattro all-wheel drive and the RS2 Avant
He's been
was
trying
to
to
be
smoke
messed.
that for a long time.
I know. Don't mess with it, is what they're saying. Don't touch it, is what Mike would say. So that's that Avant. The next one we have here, which is very cool, it's a Fiat Coupe 20V or 20V 20V Turbo. How about owning a compact, cool-looking mini Ferrari? The Fiat Coupe, though it has designs that sometimes divided opinions, was definitely very distinctive and unique.
Yuck.
I like the car.
Yuck.
In 1995, Fiat offered a turbocharged 20V inline 5 powertrain with a respectable 220 horsepower, equipped with a 6-speed manual transmission. This car could do 155 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds, which can put an MK7 Golf GTI to shame. It doesn't matter because I don't like that car. Not only that, but for the Fiat, it's relatively reliable and not too difficult to work on. And they are also very cheap.
Relatively reliable.
Relatively reliable. I didn't write it. I just read it. Okay, this next one's a very pretty car. I like it. Turning the page. Alfa Romeo GTV, the final generation Alfa Romeo GTV. Now, these can be imported, so if you want one, get in line.
Yeah,
Definitely had a unique exterior design.
It'd be a short line.
We think it looks beautiful, but not everyone did. I kind of like it. I like that little nose on the front there. The very earliest GTV models can now be imported to the United States. The same goes for the Spider, which is in the same genre.
Looks like it's got a mustache.
Mm-hmm. Plus the earlier models had a highly desirable Busso V6 engine.
Busso.
Oh,
Busso.
I think Conrad would know what that is. I don't. Despite only making 100
It's kind of like their AMG version.
I see. Busso.
performance. So despite only making 192 horsepower, it still had a respectable performance of 7.3 seconds in a 0 to 60 time. top speed of 140 mphs.
Yeah, really, and a Tesla Plaid will whip its behind.
No doubt.
The next one is a TVR Cimarera. Sadly, the most recent and crazier TVR models are currently out of reach, but the Cimarera is definitely a worthy contender.
Needs to come with its own electrician.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
There's some reliability and maintenance concerns with this car, like you said.
Some.
But it's one of the best TVRs they made. The early ones are legal to import and have been for a while, but as this year, the latest versions tote a 4.3-liter V8, can also be imported with the vehicle. 4.3-liter has 284 horsepower and a 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, which is a little bit quicker than the other model. And the last one, my favorite, is the Jaguar XJ220. Admittedly, is one of the most pricier of the cars that you can import.
That's pretty. Why don't they make that today?
Well, it didn't go over back 25 years ago.
Yeah, they only made a few of them when they did.
It's worth taking a look at. It's infamous for not being able to deliver on his promises. The Jag XJ220 was Jag's definitive supercar back in the 90s. For a short while, it was one of the fastest cars in the world, achieving 217 miles per hour.
Twin turbo V6.
Surprisingly,
Check
the
engine light is
speed
on
was
all the time.
Thanks, yeah, Jag. Thanks. I got it. Thanks to part to a turbocharged V6 right out of the MG Metro 6R4 rally car. So it was actually a racing engine. The XJ220 was a rear-wheel drive, used a 5-speed transmission. Absolutely massive vehicle. Prices are starting to creep up, so get one.
And it didn't have a damn dipstick
How
in
much
it either.
was it?
It doesn't say.
Oh.
Million.
Yeah.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering why. Because it's a nice looking car, and wondering why it didn't sell.
Well, I remember we did that remote from Sphere one time, and they had one of those in the shop, and they actually think they had the engine out of the back.
Really?
Of it. Yep.
A lot of it
I missed that.
has to do with emissions as well.
Yes, exactly. That's why you don't see any of those little 4-cylinder trucks that are popular in Europe coming here because they can't pass emissions.
Yeah.
Well, and
Crash tests.
So much of those are diesels anyhow.
But those are the 5. There's more. I just selected those 5.
Well, I thank you for that.
That
Because it was
Jag, is cool, though.
Yeah,
it very is. But I guarantee you the damn check engine lights on it.
And try changing the cabin filter in that thing.
Try checking the oil with the dipstick because it doesn't have one.
Yeah, it does. Behind the wheel.
It's a dipstick
No, that's the
behind
loose
wheel.
nut behind the wheel.
All right. We thank you for joining us and want to remind you that the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets available. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues after this quick break.
Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier car cruise-in returns Saturday, April 15th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Bring your Hot Rod Classic Resto Mod or any other vehicle you'd like to show and compete for one of 3 highly coveted chili pepper trophies. This April 15th kickoff event is one you'll want to put on your calendar because 100% of the money you donate for the free tacos will be given to God's Garage. You heard right. Free tacos. Whatever you decide to give, all of it will be given to God's Garage and matched by Lupi Tortilla. God's Garage gifts vehicles to single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military in the greater Houston area. In fact, the garage will gift a vehicle to a mom in need at this special event. Be sure to attend the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday, April 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Free breakfast tacos for any donation to God's Garage. It'll make your heart and your belly feel good.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Real Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Real Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InRealTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Real Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.
It's the world's most popular, the In Real Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we talk with Lone Star Street Rod Association's Jackie Hansen.
All right.
Conrad will have the In Real Time. What?
Maybe. We're trying to get him.
Okay. Conrad will have, what are you going to have?
Things that will disappear from the auto industry by 2030.
I'll have a ham on rye.
A ham on rye. Give me a Reuben.
Okay.
We'll have
Hot pastrami on rye.
That'd be good too, with lots of hot mustard, so horseradish mustard. We'll also have this week's automotive news. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. King Conrad DeLong. We need more. Jeff Zekin, I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us this morning. So that's good. What are you doing, Mars?
He's working on the guests.
Is that what you're doing? Okay, fine. Well, in the meantime and in between time, hot pastrami on rye.
Katz's.
Stacked high.
I've been seeing a lot of Katz's commercials. Oh, my God.
I'm not
Katz
a
is
big
good.
Katz's fan, but I'll tell you what.
I've only been there a couple times.
The prices down there at, what's that one in the Galleria area?
Lenny and Ziggy's.
Is that what it is?
Zaxby's?
No, Lenny and Ziggy's.
That's the one to go to, but
Yep.
my gosh, it's expensive.
Yep.
Well, so is Katz's.
But they're good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
Let's go.
For me, and it doesn't exist anymore, is the Carnegie Deli in New York City, right there near Carnegie Hall. Literally, you got a pound of pastrami.
it doesn't
Oh, yeah.
exist anymore?
No, they closed it up a few years ago.
Really? That's a shame.
But you got to watch that processed meat because it's full of sodium. I'm not supposed to eat it, but I'll
cheat every once in a while.
no.
Well,
not really.
pastrami isn't processed. It's not like a hot dog or bologna. Pastrami is basically a brisket that they brine. Then the outsides of it, they use salt. Well, the salt and pepper,
in the brine,
and then they smoke it. And that's pastrami.
and they're really hard to keep lit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes the paper soggy.
Yeah. But boy, that sure is good. On rye.
Oh,
On
marble rye or
on-
regular rye?
I don't know.
Because
the
there's
difference.
dark rye and
No,
then
I-
there's light rye.
No, I want
with
it
a spicy
marbled.
mustard.
Yeah,
There's
lots
Russian
of
rye.
spice. And then a little bit of sauerkraut on there.
Oh,
Well, that's the
no, a
Reuben
lot of
part
sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Even some on the side.
Yeah.
With a little guac.
I actually have a jar of, don't make fun of me, I have a jar of sauerkraut
There you go.
in the fridge.
Oh, well, make fun of me then if you want, because my plan is for tomorrow to make a pork roast, and I do a pork butt in a big pot and
Crock pot?
put sauerkraut,
yeah.
onions, and apple underneath it, and then cook it for about 3
What-
hours.
what
and it
time?
just falls
Why don't you
apart.
ever invite me over?
I know.
You never invite me over. You never do that. You know, I'm thinking,
I don't think we're allowed.
no, but I mean, I want to arrive just as the meat is coming out of the oven. And so I can smell all those wonderful, delicious
it smells
aromas.
good too, yeah.
And now you're going to slice it tomorrow and put it on a rye bread, or just eat it as is?
I'll probably just eat it as like a pulled pork.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the sauerkraut together. Maybe a little red cabbage to go with it. So
You cook the cabbage in the house, stink up the whole house.
No, that's
absolutely stink up.
My
the
mother
house.
used to do that, and it's an aroma that you
Is
appreciate.
unto its own.
You appreciate.
Well,
it.
some people do, some people don't.
It's the heritage.
And we were also talking earlier that you didn't hear, but I'm going to share it with you now. We're the hot dog connoisseur.
Oh well,
And so, what kind of hot dogs do you like? I obviously grew up on Oscar Mayer, Madison, Wisconsin, all that stuff, wherever they were. But when I moved down here, I was exposed to Hebrew Nationals.
Mhm.
I got to like Hebrew Nationals. And you, Sabrats, up in
Sabrets, which are in New York. There's every other corner. There's a guy selling hot dogs, what are called dirty water dogs. They just sit and steam.
yeah.
steaming
I've had
water.
those off the street in New York.
And,
I've had a couple.
it's all beef, kosher hot
good.
dogs.
they actually have those in the airport up there.
They're so good.
There's a red, like a ketchup relish.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have some of that in the fridge. And Kathy suggested putting it on a burger as well.
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
it is.
Yeah, it's all about the accoutrement.
The accoutrement. I like mustard and onion. I'm just simple, down and dirty.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
I do like a good pickle relish.
Got to be
I-
dill, not sweet.
well,
Correct.
I
It's got to be a dill pickle,
I hear you. I came across
and not the bread and butter pickles. You can keep those.
Well, those are for burgers.
some mildly spicy sweet pickles at HEB. Oh, to die for. Some off-brand that you never even heard of before.
You want to go
but I'm going
pickles?
to give it a try.
There's a Polish deli off of Long Point, across from the Catholic Church. They have all of the meats, the Polish meats, the kielbasas and things, and they have pickles, and they have jarred sauerkraut and cabbage. All of that.
Well, the way I
incredible.
grew up in New York, the deli, you could
You had
walk,
that, yeah.
you could walk past a deli and you could tell
Smell
was
it.
it Polish, was it
Mhm.
Italian,
Yep.
was it a kosher deli, just by the aromas of the,
Yep.
the various meats and stuff.
And
But the pickles came in 55-gallon barrels,
Yeah.
and you would reach down in there and
Grab one.
grab a pickle.
grab that one of them honkers out of there.
And today, in today's COVID world, that ain't going to happen.
No, but Kylie and I would make our annual pilgrimage to the
His
Polish market
granddaughter.
to before Thanksgiving, because you got to bring something. You get the sausages and breads and things. Oh yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's our cooking segment for the day.
No, it's not. We're not done with
Oh,
this.
okay.
Because we're waiting to see what kind of a panic. Well, Mars has already been in a panic over there. So we're not exactly
And
sure
he's
what he's
logging
doing.
Mike, we
into
love you,
something.
man. Don't get in a panic.
Yeah,
No
no
panicking.
panics. I never have enough time to do all the news stories.
Oh,
So
well,
I have some that I wanted to.
I got never mind.
Well, do it.
The Wienermobile,
Yes.
Oscar Mayer Wienermobile,
Right.
was involved in a theft. Actually, it wasn't
They stole the
stolen.
wieners out of the Wienermobile.
No, they stole the catalytic converter. The iconic Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was hit by thieves.
Can you imagine what that sounds like without the cat exhaust
Well,
on it?
I'm going to get to that.
Just like you would imagine.
Tube steak boogie. Hit by thieves at some point Thursday night while located in the parking lot of the Sonesta Suites on Paradise Road in Las Vegas. The burglary was discovered Friday morning when the crew couldn't get the wiener on the wheels to start at a 10 a.m. appearance on Smiths Road west of Warm Springs Road.
Was it by the Hamburglar?
I don't know, but the 27-foot-long Meyer Mobile was ultimately towed to the Penske Truck Rental at West Hacienda Avenue and South Decatur Boulevard, where the mechanics installed a temporary catalytic converter. They put a damn straight pipe in, is what they did. Working on a tight schedule, the Wienermobile...
And they tubbed it out.
Oh, that would be great. Didn't have time to relish in the theft.
Oh, yeah,
So
there
the
you go.
mechanics quickly sealed up the area where the catalytic converter had been cut out. They put a pipe in there. The crew made it to his first appearance of the weekend without missing a beat.
And all the ketchup and mustard ran out the
Yeah,
bottom.
I'm telling you. Las Vegas outlets reported the Sonesta Suites corporate is looking into the theft. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department reported that they didn't have any idea what was going on by that Friday morning. No one reported the theft of the Wienermobile or the break-in. The Wiener mustered its way to more stops that weekend and is reportedly doing well.
And is trying to catch up on its schedule.
There you go. Any more? Come on.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, please.
Come on, George. We know you got one
We
out
know
there.
you got one, George.
Wait just
Hold
a
on,
moment.
I'm gonna turn
What,
him
what
on.
did you say?
So Jackie, our next guest, can't get his video where he's at. I think we have him on audio.
Okay.
We can do that.
Well, I think he's there.
Jackie, what kind of a cockamamie excuse is that?
Hey, I'm a car guy, not a computer guy. If I was smart like you fantastic guys, rushing in the moment, swimming in ketchup with the Wienermobile, I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Well, that's
That's a
okay.
good thing.
It's just, yeah, most people don't want to see us, you know. But
Well, you guys are really a nice bunch of guys.
we
I'm
are.
kind of worried about Michael Mars hanging out with you guys.
Oh, boy.
It brings him down a little bit.
Well, there is that. But, you know, we have to drag him along, so to speak. Hey, it's good to talk to you. Lone Star Street Rod Association. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we're the largest, and I appreciate you guys taking time out for this. We're the largest membership group in Texas with over 700 members, all over the state of Texas, Oklahoma, a few in Louisiana. This is our 50th year being in existence.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Now, we're our show we're going to have in Granbury this year in June is actually the 49th show because COVID killed our one event. So we're 50 years old, but feels like 49. Identifies 49.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to be politically correct here, you know. So, yeah, but we are excited about being around that long. The members we have, the things that we do, the cars that we have. It's just a great, really, you know, group of people all over Texas. You know, we have a network on Facebook. If you're somewhere and you break down, you can go to the LSSRA page and say, hey, I'm broke down, and somebody will come help you.
That's really cool. I have to tell you that we had such a good time at last year's event. It was a first for me. I've
was a
never been.
blast.
Yeah, absolute blast. What are the parameters to be a member of the Street Rod Association? Year models, limits to that?
Well,
how does it work?
It's pre-73, so anything 72 or older is a member. It's $35 a year to be a member. However, that's fixing to change in the next couple of months. We're actually upping our year models in Texas to get a antique tag. It's got to be over 25 years old. And we're beginning to realize that, you know, the older cars, you know, the 30 models and the 40s, especially the beautiful 40 model coupes are gone. Hard to get replacement parts. And so our directors got together last year in November, and we have a winter meeting every year in Granbury that all the members are invited to attend to speak their piece. So it's not just the board of directors running the show. It's their show that they trust us to be involved with. And so one of the members brought up, why don't we up the cars? And it was a big discussion amongst us, but we listened to what the members say. And so actually in our newsletter this month, we sent out to all the members their opinions on upping the dates to kind of bring some newer cars in, you know, the 70 models and stuff like that. So
what's the new?
but that's the parameters.
What's the new number? 73?
Well, right now we don't know.
No, but I
Actually,
mean,
our
as far as year model cars, what's the cutoff?
72.
72. Okay. All right. So you upped it to 72.
72. No, it's already 72 now. We're just going to our next directors meeting is in 2 weeks, actually in Granbury, and we're going to go over what the members have spoken and send us emails and responses to and bring it up. But that won't happen until after our meeting March the 3rd in Granbury.
Oh, okay. So you're still working on where.
What do you think it's going to be?
I hope, well, you know, the NSRA and the good guys and even the state of Texas says they consider it an antique in 25 years.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what we're going to do.
So that puts you up around a 1997, 96?
Somewhere
yeah,
there.
you know, we're not going to get a lot of 90s, you know, because, you know, for some reason, and you go to events and you don't see any 80 models cars, you know. I mean, see the Gen 1 Camaros and Mustangs and, you know, the Mopars, but you don't really, for some reason, 80 through 90, a lot of them just fell off the face of the earth.
Well,
for some
let's
reason.
face it. I mean, how
there
many-
wasn't much muscle back then.
I'm just going to say the 80s cars, they were
know,
kind of lacking.
Grand National GNX might have been
Gold
the
LeSabre.
extent of
Yeah, it
it.
was very few and far between.
T-types.
A gold LeSabre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, Oldsmobile.
That
had
was a
Ford-
joke.
There was a yeah. There was a few Corvettes that came out in the 80s that looked okay if you're a Corvette guy. Or
Yeah, with
gal,
no horsepower.
You know. Yeah, well,
It was the 80s.
it's unfortunately, But then again, actually, I probably have one of the newest cars in the LSSR fleet with the '66 Nova, but it is LS powered, so.
Well, there you go. That's all you need.
When did you put that motor in that car? Because it was during the recreation?
Be nice. I just thought we'd forget about that, No, actually, the LS motor was in it when I built it. So we started off with an LS motor, and so when I did hit the deer, yes, I'm still finding hair or fur or whatever after all these years. The LS motor was in it then, but why there was a part, and we had the whole front end off of it, and we freshened it up a little bit. So this is a fun car to drive. I've driven it to Louisville, Kentucky, and Springfield, Missouri, and Oklahoma City for NSRA events, and so it's a driver.
Well, we had the discussion here before we started the show this morning at 8:00. We had the discussion when we found out that you were going to be our guest today. We all agree that you probably have one of the best, most beautiful Novas that we've ever seen.
Well, I appreciate that. I am truly blessed. I got great friends. Had a great career with the Houston Fire Department, and I have a wonderful wife that tells everybody that I married a boy. She laugh about it, but, she lets me live my dream. I asked her this morning if she wanted to go with me to this car event today in Rosenberg, and she said, "What time are you leaving?" I said 6:30, and she says, "Well, I'm gonna tell you something. If you wake me up at 6:30, you're not going either."
Well, and we know that your car tends to take trophies at many of the events that you go to, because anybody who really walks around that car is kind of awestruck about how beautiful it is, the detail of the car, the color is stunning, and the paintwork is very well done as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
What's going on down there?
who-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The guy who painted my car did a fantastic job. I'm just now, and I get a lot of flack because no, my car is not burnt orange. It's Atomic Aztec Pearl, which is burnt orange if you're anywhere, if you're
With hair.
anywhere else, but with hair, I like to never got all the hair out of that headlight bucket. It was like, that stuff is so fine. Do you ever stick your finger with a cactus and get that little thorn in your finger? You can't
Let's
get
clarify. You're talking about the deer hair that after you hit the deer.
Deer hair. D-E-E-R, deer hair.
Deer hair.
I am blessed. I live out in Catch.
And you're also blessed because you know us to give you a hard time.
And he named his car Rudolph.
Well, yeah. Hey, watch it. We're not going to stoop that low. Come on, guys. I thought I liked all you guys. I've got the color of my Christmas card list.
Well, so what are you doing? What are you doing down in Rosenberg this morning?
The Calvary Episcopal Church is a church, is Episcopal church, and they have a school here, kindergarten through high school, and they're having an event today to raise funds for the school. And so it's a beautiful day. It's cold, but it's just a beautiful day here. Some beautiful cars are rolling in, and
so it's a car show.
For that,
it's a car show.
Car show, yes, sir.
Cruise in.
It's a car show. Yep.
Yeah.
Cruise in, yes, sir.
Very nice.
And then also just to kind of give a plug for me, also Fireman Jack Productions is my business, and I'm putting on the event March the 25th in downtown Richmond, which is Art in the Park and Motor Madness. So I'm handing out flyers for that today. So kind of killing two birds with one stone. Plus the wife's off today, and I had to get out of the house.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I heard you say that.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you that Are you part of the marketing committee there at that event?
No, I'm just here for the event to meet some great friends and you got to jump up. And meet some great guys and hang out and drink barbecue, drink Dr. Pepper and eat barbecue.
Huh. Well, I was going to say, if you're part of the marketing committee, we didn't know anything about the Episcopal Church.
Yeah, it was in my list.
Was it? Well, then, but bad on me.
It was on
then.
Facebook. I don't know.
We just don't
I don't know
listen
who
to
put it on
Conrad.
Facebook. I don't know. I'm just here to, the guy asked me today, how'd you find out about this? I said, it's on Facebook. So.
All right. Well,
and speaking of Facebook, the LSSRA has a Facebook page. So if you guys want to get on it, it is a private page, and you have to submit an application to be able to be part of it.
so in other words, I'd never get on there.
No, because I know the guy who's in charge of it.
Okay.
And, you send a request, and I review it. And, we try to cut out the scammers of selling T-shirts from somebody in Bangladesh or pots and pans or sensory candles. And we just make it a car event,
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys that are on Facebook get scammed all the time, and somebody wants to sell you something, or shot cookies. But
Actually, Mars is the one that's out there selling those candles.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed you're pointing me out there. You're calling me out there.
And he's got some Amway to do.
Yeah.
Amway.
I can bundle it together for you.
There's a name from the past.
And Don's selling Avon.
That brings back memories.
Yeah.
We don't talk about what Jeff's selling.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Really. Well, that's not. This is a family show.
Yeah, that's right.
But I do want to say something about Granbury in the deal. We've been LSSRA has been in Granbury for the last 5 years. It's just a beautiful place for a car show.
Yeah,
it is.
A beautiful lake, a beautiful downtown. And what makes this a great family affair event is a lot of the downtown merchants participate in helping us. We have a poker walk for the ladies where they get a paper at the restoration office, and they go to the vendors in downtown Granbury, and they do the little poker thing, and we give out some great awards. Of course, last year we had you guys there. We have great food trucks. Vendors are there. Beautiful shaded park. The sound system put on by the Christian Classic Cruiser is just great, and so it's just a fun weekend. The sponsors that we have, the goodie bags that we give away.
What weekend is that, Jackie?
It is the second weekend of June. Dang it! You would think I would know what day that is.
Yeah, we would. No, because you're like us. We can't remember anything.
Everything, Jackie, you said about the town and about the event last year is absolutely true. We had a great time. It was absolutely true. The downtown is amazing. The only thing, it was a little warm. It was over 100 degrees in the shade. So I think some of the events were kind of a little light on the participation. But this year's going to be bigger and better, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is, and we work really hard to put this on. The city of Granbury and Tammy Dooley and the mayor just love this event. The police department's really involved. And it's not just a park. Bring your car to the park and show up. We have games to play with. One of the games is we call bumper pin, and we tape a plumb bob on your rear bumper. You drive over a bullseye. 4x4 bullseye, and who gets the closest to the center wins. We have toilet paper toss and beanbag toss for the kids and the adults. We have a lot of games, music all day. Just a great, a weekend. It's not just for guys. And then one of the highlights on Saturday is we have a parade where everybody who wants to participate leaves the park with their cars, and we drive to and I'm not going to say old folks home because I'm almost 70 years old, but I'm still a kid. But we drive to a senior citizen center where the people can't get out, and we drive through, we park, and we talk to those people, and, oh, I remember this car, man, I remember this. And so, it's not just sitting in the park all weekend. It's getting out and doing things. And that's what makes it so unique,
It's a family fun event.
It really is.
It's a family fun event, yep.
That's the
Family
weekend
fun
of
event.
June the 10th.
Right, yes, sir.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if you know, of course, you guys didn't get a goodie bag last year, but I'll make sure you guys get one this year. But every participant that comes gets a goodie bag. And last year we gave out over 400 boxes of Cracker Jacks.
Oh, wow.
With the little prize?
So, pardon?
With the little prize inside?
Yeah, well, they're funky prizes anymore because of the choking hazard.
Yeah, but it's still a prize.
It's a prize, yeah,
It's a surprise.
But, we gave out, but, now this year, actually, this year I was thinking about adding, and I'm the car show, believe it or not, I'm the Rod Run chairman, they call me. I don't know what that means, except when it hits the fan, I'm the one that's going to get
There you go.
You're in charge.
But they say I am, but I haven't figured that out yet, because I like to have a good time too. But we were talking about putting moon pies in there, but you guys said about how hot it was last year. There's nothing worse than a sticky moon pie.
I know it.
Amen to that, brother.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Holy
Listen,
smokes.
I've gotten arrested on those things before.
Man.
Listen, Jackie, we're out of time. It's great to talk to you. Lone Star Street Rod Association and the annual street run up there to Granbury, Texas, the weekend of June 10th.
Looking forward to it.
We'll have it on our page, and we're going to have everybody shifted over to your page as well. Jackie, thanks so much for joining us, my friend.
You guys have a safe day, man. Be safe. Thank you for all you do.
Thank
Every
you.
week, not just for me. Okay.
All right. Appreciate you.
You
Thank
bet.
you. Mars?
He is so connected.
Yes,
The question is, am I taking the Corvette up there?
Ooh.
I might drive the Corvette up there. I'm not sure. Just a thought. Because I'll have my girlfriend with me.
You need to get the clutch fixed.
Something's going on there, and I'm not exactly sure.
Is that where it's at now?
No, it's not. It's having its wheels fixed. Thank you to John Gray and Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Well,
He's
there
got
you go.
the wheel connection. All right.
Cool.
Like to thank you all for joining us. Time now for a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, but we'll be right back after these brief messages.
Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier car cruise-in returns Saturday, April 15th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Bring your Hot Rod, Classic, Restomod, or any other vehicle you'd like to show and compete for one of 3 highly coveted Chili Pepper trophies. This April 15th kickoff event is one you'll want to put on your calendar because 100% of the money you donate for the free tacos will be given to God's Garage. You heard right. Free tacos. Whatever you decide to give, all of it will be given to God's Garage and matched by Lupi Tortilla. God's Garage gifts vehicles to single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military in the greater Houston area. In fact, the Garage will gift a vehicle to a mom in need at this special event. Be sure to attend the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday, April 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Free breakfast tacos for any donation to God's Garage. It'll make your heart and your belly feel good.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise Inn, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.
It is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Brad Thompson, God's Garage. Mars drives the 2023 Ford Maverick, and he'll tell you all about it. We'll also have the events calendar and the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World, Mars. King Conrad DeLong, we always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday, and thank you very much for doing that. Let's get right to it. God's Garage and Brad Thompson. Brad, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Well, we can. Yes, we certainly can.
All right.
I know.
Technology.
No, well, yes. God creates many miracles, and this is just one of them.
Well, I'm one of them, too. So, yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay, well, we'll go with that. Where are you? What are you doing?
Well, this is our grand opening. It starts now. We actually have a morning session and afternoon session. So this is it. We've actually been open. We've been in the building since kind of late January, but just kind of like moving into a new house. There's so many things to do, and I don't think we would be anywhere near ready as we are without all these crazy volunteers that showed up. It's been unbelievable.
So where you are standing and all those chairs behind you, is that the actual garage?
Yeah, this is the garage. Here, I'll give you. So you can see our lifts on this side. So
yeah.
Six bay garage. Behind that big wall is our office space.
Yep.
Bays on the other side. And then let me set this back down here.
Gosh, Brad, this is really a nice facility.
Yes,
I wasn't
is.
expecting anything close to this.
I remember when the first time we saw it, the lights were out and you had people working in the back in the dark. It was different.
Yeah, right. I was just outside the door, so you're looking in the same direction, but I was just outside the door, which is really only 10 feet away. And hey, later around 10:45, we're actually going to do a giveaway, and I understand you guys may join us live for that. And we're going to be looking at. You're going to see a silver door as our backdrop, the insulation of our door. We're going to give away a car to one of our recipients today, and she does not know it's going to happen. So she thinks she's just going to get interviewed as part of our process, the final interview. And so we're going to ask her what it's like to not have a car, in Houston, and we all know it's horrible. But then, so what we're going to do is one of our volunteers is going to be standing here, and we're going to actually hand her the keys, and we're going to raise that garage door, and behind that door is her car with a big bow on it.
Oh, how cool!
So if you guys can join us for that, it'll be great. About 10:45ish. I know Mike will monitor us, but
so kind of explain a little bit more about what you do in relation to what you're fixing to do for this person.
Well, yeah. Explain to everybody if they don't know already what God's Garage really is and what it does.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you guys know because I've been in here. So God's Garage, we're a 501c3 ministry up in Conroe. We take in donated vehicles, whether they run or not. We fix them. We get them roadworthy. We have them inspected so they go through the whole process. And then we give them away to single moms, widows, and wives of deployed military. So, and then we also repair vehicles for that same group. We repair their own vehicles at pretty much no cost to them. If the repairs go beyond, $250, $300, our cost, which is like wholesale. If it goes beyond that, then we talk to them about whether they really want us to fix the vehicle. But we gave away just shy of 100 cars last year during kind of the construction. The guys were living out of a construction trailer for a year, literally. The year before that, during COVID, we gave away 100 cars. The year before that, we gave away 120.
Wow.
So we really expect if the used car market gets better and we can get more donations, we expect to give away probably north of 200 cars out of this building once we get all of the market conditions kind of get out.
And that's the goal. That was your goal.
It is. So we do this for the greater Houston area. We kind of stay within about an hour of Conroe, so which means we sometimes don't make it all the way down to Galveston or somewhere down in that direction. But we get, just so you know, the demand on this, we get about 120 applicants a month. And we only give away, let's just make the math easy, we only give away 120 vehicles a year. So that's how many women come in here with a need that we try to meet, but it's a pretty select group of people that make it all the way through the process. And what's nice about it too is we actually have a life skills class too. So it's not just, hey, here's your car, congratulations. We teach them how to do a budget, how to write a resume, how to dress for an interview. We teach them just about everything they can do to help them kind of get out of the rut they're in. And like I said, most of these women have kids. So you really wouldn't believe the stories we've heard of what people do from a day-to-day standpoint just to live without a vehicle.
Well, I pitched your story to Stan and over at Lupe Tortilla, and he was very receptive. And then I know about a month ago, we met with Stan, and he is all in, and he's very excited about it. And as a matter of fact, in our next Tailpipes and Tacos event that we always go to out at the Lupe Tortilla in Katy, that you are going to join us out there, and we're going to give away a car out there and let everybody know about God's Garage, and it's going to be a great partnership. I think that the Cruise In always draws lots of guys, and almost all of them are always ready, willing, and able to step up, like most car guys, car clubs, that sort of thing. And I think it's a great marriage. Stan is a great guy, and I think that it's going to be really a boon to you guys. Once we get everybody educated, Stan's going to give away free tacos. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a big, big event, and I hope that everybody comes out. It's going to be in April. You hear the commercials here, and with our partnership with Brad Thompson and God's Garage. So we're really looking forward to that and looking forward to today. So what is going to take place, and when is this going to take place behind you there this morning? You got a lot of chairs, so a lot of people are coming, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we actually had like 150 people RSVP for this. So we kind of chose the people who had been faithful donors, over the years. And also we ran a building fund. So we included everybody that contributed to that. But so we're going to have just a brief ceremony. I don't know if you can see the ribbon. So we're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony. It's really just going to be a quick, only an hour-long ceremony, but that's going to happen after we do the giveaway with you guys.
Okay, great. Yeah.
And speaking of Stan, he's providing lunch today. So if you guys can make it Sugarland, we'll save you a taco, right?
Oh, yeah, we appreciate it. We'll have to get the helicopter and fly up there to make that happen.
We could stop at Stan's on the way or something.
Right. But Don, thank you for that introduction. We're all equally as excited about our relationship with Lupe Tortilla. And when I came back and told everybody, I was amazed at how many people love Lupe Tortilla. I'm not a big Mexican food fan, so I don't eat a lot of it because of blood sugar and all kinds of fun stuff as you get old. But hey, I was just stunned. Everyone's like, we're getting Lupe Tortilla. And I'm thinking, yeah, great. But that's not it. It's going to be I think it's going to be a great partnership. I love his heart, and I think it's just going to be a lot of fun. So when we do the giveaway in April, it's going to be the same thing. The recipient's not going to know. She's going to think she's just coming to this event to talk about what life's like without a vehicle. So it'll be another surprise. Now, we don't always do that. In a way, it feels a little bit cruel. Because they just it's an emotional jolt for them. But during the week, like on Wednesdays are our giveaway days, and we generally give away 4 or 5 vehicles a week.
Wow, that's truly impressive and heartwarming, and it's so gratifying to be able to do something nice for somebody else.
Well, and if any of our listeners are interested, on Facebook, I posted your link to God's Garage and the donation page. People want to jump in and help support a worthy cause, please do.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. And we're at godsgarage.org. Pretty easy to remember. So thanks for supporting us, guys. We I just tell you, I can't tell you how much we appreciate your help.
Well, and we thank you for what you do as well. Now, Mars is going to continue monitoring, and we'll be back in touch with you. I know you got a busy morning. We'll let you go do that, and we'll see you in about a half hour or so.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Brad Thompson, God's Garage, grand reopening, we're going to call it.
Yeah.
Because they've been open, but this is the all new building. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive place looking at how far they've come with it from where, like you said, when we were looking at it earlier, they didn't have all the wiring in.
They had no lights.
They had no lights.
Well, I think the last time we talked to them on Zoom, they had just had their truck stolen as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the shop truck got stolen.
Yep. Somebody hit a pole or something out there, whatever the case. But grab your tissues because it's going to be a tearjerker, I guarantee it.
It's going to be good, yeah. Okay. I'm going to throw in some more of these stories that I never get all of my stories in that I've prepared diligently to bring to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
To make us smarter.
Are you going to save those stories for your new grandbaby?
No, by then the grandbaby will not be interested in these stories. These are much more timely. And, as a kid growing up, time means nothing.
Well, no. And I can tell you, as you get closer to 94, Don, it doesn't mean anything then either.
94.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for throwing me in the ring with your mom. I appreciate that.
1894.
Yeah.
Don's going to be a centenarian.
No, I will not.
Or an octogenarian.
No, that's not going to happen. I don't have that in my DNA.
Breathe in pure oxygen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're going to set me up down there at Prax Air to give me a big bottle of oxygen, carry that around on me like a rocket man. Sibling automakers Hyundai and Kia said they are going to offer a software upgrade to 8.3 million U.S. vehicles in response to increasing thefts, targeting vehicles without push-button ignitions and immobilizing anti-theft devices, according to U.S. auto safety regulators. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said the effort is in response to a TikTok social media challenge that has spread nationwide and has resulted in at least 14 reported crashes and 8 fatalities. Hyundai, in a statement, said it will also provide its customers with a window sticker. This is going to work. A window sticker alerting would-be thieves, because you know that they read all those stickers.
You bet.
That the vehicle is equipped with anti-theft protection. Get a sticker. Don't get it protected.
Get the trunk monkey. Just beat them to death. Steal my Hyundai, my trunk monkey's going to stomp your butt.
Okay.
Who's that?
Sorry.
USA Today reported last month that 2 major insurance companies had stopped offering new policies for Hyundai and Kia vehicles at high risk of theft. Okay, there's that one. Here's another one. Nissan recalling more than 460,000 vehicles globally because the driver's side airbag cover emblem might detach during deployment, increasing the risk of injury to vehicle occupants. You put your eye out, kid.
Don't even put
the recall covers certain 2008 to 11 Titans, Frontier, Xterra, Pathfinder, and Armada vehicles, as well as 08 to 09 Quest vehicles. You remember the Quest?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Didn't Mercury sell a version of it, the Villager?
I believe so. It affects an estimated 463,782 vehicles globally. Owners with a loose, cracked, or missing emblem should contact their local authorized Nissan dealer for diagnosis. Here, let me check that for you. Yeah, it's loose. It's missing. Come on in. That's what they check.
Wear a helmet.
Wear a helmet and eye goggles. Mm-hmm. Conrad, you must listen to this story. Former service tech. A former Pennsylvania dealership service technician accused of depositing his paychecks multiple times is facing 219 felony charges and 18 misdemeanor charges.
Yikes.
Old Max Strobel, 23 years of age, was charged with theft by unlawful taking, forgery, and other crimes after he was accused of stealing $86,792 from his workplace, Phil Fitz Ford. Phil Fitzford in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. According to a criminal complaint the newspaper accessed, Strobel deposited his paychecks multiple times using the mobile deposit feature of his Capital One banking account. Why not?
Smart guy.
Aren't they culpable at the other end for taking it?
I don't know.
It's
Why would
bank.
you?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is the bank. Stellantis recalling 341,000 Ram heavy-duty diesel trucks globally after reports of 6 potentially related fires. The recall covers certain 21 to 23 Ram 2500, 3500, and 3500, 4500, 5500 cab chassis trucks that are equipped with a 6.7-liter Cummins diesel engine and prior generation heater grid relays, which were the focus of 2 previous recall campaigns. The automaker is advising vehicle owners to park outside. Can anybody get a ginormous truck like that in the garage?
No.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
To park it outside. Just remember that, Conrad.
Park it outside.
Park
Park it outside.
That way it just burns the tree. Doesn't burn your house
In the,
down.
well, the neighbor's house.
Or the grass.
Thermal event.
Thermal event. Cadillac will reveal 3 more electric vehicles this year
Here you go, Jeff.
that should enter production in 2024.
The Zeke
Rory Harvey, Vice President of Global Cadillac, declined to share specific details about the vehicles or their segments during a briefing with reporters. Well, why have a briefing if you're not going to reveal that? Oh, I'm sorry. Here are the cars, but we can't tell you anything about them.
And I'm a little tired of
what-
their lyric
What kind of a
commercial as
moron
well.
dreams that crap up?
Well, there was
Would you
something
please
also
explain that to me?
on social
It-
media
it
about
is
the new
General
one.
Motors.
Somebody-
It's a GM.
That's
as-
redundant.
Hey, calm down, fellas. It's Cadillac. You'll be all right. You'll be good. Now, are they giving
I think
me
we're
a
going to pound him after the show.
Exactly.
It's
I
his
think-
fault.
I think Brad's going to give me the $155,000 Cadillac. That's the giveaway.
So the guy declined to say anything about these cars. He said they would be manufactured in multiple locations, but didn't say where they were. He didn't say anything. Why have a press
Well,
conference?
let's have a press conference.
The additions would give Cadillac at least 5 EVs going into 2025. Good for them, including the Lyriq midsize crossover
that you
that
can't
went
get.
on sale in 2022 that's not available, and the Celestiq. How do you pronounce
Yeah,
it?
that's the one I was talking
Celestiq?
about. Celestic, yeah.
Saran wrap.
Celestiq. The $300,000 hand-built fastback sedan scheduled to begin production in December.
Celestic. Put
So
some ointment on it.
there is a story on a press event that said nothing. So you know what you do with stories like this?
Uh-oh. Hey. Now, the Lyriq, when we were at the automotive show, the reps from the Cadillac area, the Lyriq will be out. If you want one, 2025 will be the next available.
Yeah, you can't buy it.
Can't
You
buy
can't. They don't take any orders
and,
anymore.
and the 2 that they had there, they had one Lyriq there, which was actually privately owned. So
well,
I'm
it was
thinking
a
dealer.
customer's car.
Probably one of the dealer principals
Something,
probably owned.
whatever.
Well, also, some of the senior management employees got the early ones, and I know that for a fact.
So
You would know that because you were the connected man.
I got a birthday coming up, so if anybody wants to, kind of, surprise me with one,
Would be an
that'd
electric
great.
car, Jeff.
There you go.
Would be
So,
electric.
all right.
You okay with that?
Yeah, it'd be
As
fine.
long as it's got a. You know what?
Except Jeff's would be a Power Wheels.
But it would be tubbed out.
It would be tubbed out. And our last little story for this particular moment, because Mr. Mars is chomping at the bit
He
here
is.
to do his car review. Renault
Dolphine
may team up with
Daphne.
AutoNation, the largest U.S. auto dealer group, to start sales of Alpine sports cars in this country, part of a plan to build out the brand that currently sells just a few thousand vehicles every year. The automaker is embarking on a sweeping overhaul after a tough 12 months marked by a costly withdrawal from Russia and a landmark deal to reshape its troubled alliance with Nissan. Manufacturers reorganizing into 5 different units spanning EVs, combustion, and hybrid engine assets. The Alpine sports car brand, financial services, and new mobility and recycling businesses. In other words,
like Renault went over so well when they were selling here in the United States.
There
with
you
the,
go.
What, the 504 and the 505?
yeah. But it's an Alpine.
Alpine.
Put some ointment on
Alpine.
it.
It's like Renault. It's a Renault.
If you
It's
listen,
not a Renault.
If you listen to it on Formula One, it's a Renault Alpine.
But who listens to Formula One?
Certainly not Jeffrey. Okay. Time now for this hour's car review. Well, you want to do the events calendar? Do you have it up and ready to do?
Let's do the car review.
Okay, let's do the car review. Mr. Mars had a chance to drive the Ford Maverick.
Dun, dun, dun.
What?
I've been known to make a typographical error occasionally.
No.
Only when you're typing.
And here's the funny thing. He types all this stuff up and never looks at what he's
Proves
typed.
it.
Now,
It's
well,
great.
I have
But
to
he
say,
types it fast.
yeah, I have to say, I have no clue how I did this, but I
You got a Bronco Maroni.
yeah,
He's got the Bronco Raptor Monroney.
yeah, the Mavericks next week.
Mike can type 100.
But I did. It's my bad. I did. I looked at it when you said that a while ago. I looked at it. And said,
And you
"What's
let
he
me
talking
say it
about?"
again.
Well, I was going to try and catch you.
He can type
I was gonna put the
130 words a
disclaimer out
minute.
there.
Okay, well,
but
that's
it's in
it.
his own
Okay.
language.
That's it. I quit. Go ahead.
So I did have
So-
the opportunity to drive the 2022 Ford Bronco Raptor. Now, this is a new trim level for 2022. And actually, I've learned that there are actually 8 different trim levels for the Bronco. Sorry, I love their names. Everglade, Sasquatch, the Big Bend, the Black Diamond, the Outer Banks. And the Raptor is the 8th one.
The shock absorber.
It's a shock absorber. That's a suspension.
That's a Fox
It
shock.
stopped. Why did it stop?
I stopped it.
My bad. Yeah, that's why I threw the disclaimer out there up front. Okay, so this is a new trim level for 2022. Up front, you're going to see it's got a 2-piece front grille on it. It's got automatic LED headlights on it. It's got LED lighting all the way around. It's got a lot of off-road pieces on it because it is very off-road design. I mean, goes back to the Bronco of yesterday. It's styled very similar. It's very boxy. That make the other ones that I think now are up over $100,000 if you can even get one back from the 70s. So it's got rock rails on it that you can actually take and remove the running boards on it. It's got tow hooks in the front and back. They call it bash plates. We used to call them skid plates, but they listed as bash plates. Got heated side mirrors, and it's got a lifted suspension on it that includes Fox shocks on it. It's got the rear swing gate on this thing is reinforced because it is heavy. It's bigger than the original one. And it's got a full-size spare on it, a 37-inch tire on a 17-inch rim mounted on that swing
Hanging
gate.
on that swing gate.
Mm-hmm. So it's got lots of struts and a lot of things on it to hold it up and make it good. This thing rolls with 13 inches of ground clearance. And there's 13 inches of front suspension travel and 14 in the rear, which includes the fact that this is a Dana 44 axle housing in the rear that'll do this. Now you get to the inside of it. It's got we had the leather trimmed seats. It's got a 12-inch center stack video setup that does the 360-degree camera, which is very convenient for parking lots and out rock crawling. If you're in this thing, you want to see all the way around it. It's absolutely there. It's also where you're going to find the Ford Sync and the Ford for all your convenience controls. It's got a 60/40 folding rear seat on it. Now, this thing also has paddle shifters, which I thought was, at first I thought, why? And now it's got a 10-speed automatic in it. And if you're out rock crawling with my limited experience on it, I can see where the paddle shifters could be very handy. And then it also had the optional carpeting in it. Kind of help quiet it down because it does have a little bit of noise. Now, one thing I will say, and one of the pictures in the video has, a lot of vehicles, particularly the lifted vehicles, they've got grab handles on the A-pillar up there to help you kind of pull in. This one, they don't have it there. It's on the dash. So it's not so much helps you pull up so much as pull in. It was a weird arrangement whenever I get out of it and get into my truck that's got them on the upper panel up on the A-pillar where most people have them. The up under the hood makes this thing go 3.0 liter twin turbo V6, 418 horsepower, and it's really cool. It's got active exhaust. It's actually got 4 different levels that you can work with the exhaust on to make it sound different in the performance of it. But this is backed by a 10-speed automatic, and this vehicle weighs 5,733 pounds. So
Wow.
it's a pretty heavy vehicle.
Yeah.
And it's got a tow rating of 4,500 pounds, like it sets, haul rating of 1,100. Now, what affects the miles per gallon. It's a 4-wheel drive vehicle. You know, you're not really looking for a whole lot out of it, but this thing's got a 470 gear in the rear end of it. So it helps it give it a little bit of juice on the startup. It's got, the EPA says you should be looking for 15 miles per gallon in the city. On highway, you should be 16, so a combined of 15. Actually,
Big difference between those two.
Yeah. Across 315 miles, I actually recorded 15.0 miles per gallon.
With your fat foot.
Well, a lot of it's highway. And one of the things that I really think, you know, you think 418 horsepower, but this is 5,000 pounds. So it could use a little bit more, I think. It's got more than enough power, but out on the highway, I guess if I'm off-roading and stuff, with rock crawling, it's got more than adequate.
There's a lot of that going on over there in Meaderville.
Rock crawl over there.
It's got very responsive. Yeah, there's not many rocks. Very responsive steering out on the highway or riding around town. In fact, you had to get real adjusted to it because you could cut the corner real easy because it would just when you went to turn the wheel, it turned the vehicle. And it's got a very much truck-like ride. It's very body on the frame.
Wheel the vehicle moves.
No, but I mean,
thing,
it's
isn't
not
it?
The whole idea.
Yeah, but I don't have the right word for it because I always
he's
cut
not
the corner. Cut the corner a little tight. Anyway.
All right.
So if you're looking for the base model price, a base model Bronco you can get for $32,895. Now, if you step up to the Raptor, the base trim level that you're looking at here is $68,500. Now, I don't have a Monroney. It did not come with a full-blown Monroney on this thing.
You just picked one?
So I went out and looked.
You got the one from the Maverick.
Yeah. If you go out to the Ford website, it'll tell you about $82,000 for a fully loaded Raptor. Now,
wow.
If you're looking for something to compare this to at the base price, the Land Rover Defender, which is their off-road vehicle, $48,700. The Wrangler Rubicon with a V6 in it is $42,000, and a 4Runner SRT5 Premium is around $41,500. So if you stay down in the base trim, they're all about equal. But again, you step up to that Raptor, then you're getting a lot of off-road vehicle there for your money.
Wow, it took a lot out of me.
It took a lot out of me too.
Well, it absolutely ruined me. I had to go in the house for a while.
He took a nap.
Took a dump.
Well, I'm going to do a little editing on this before I send it to Ford.
I think you should not. We just called
I usually
you out.
don't.
He lets me go ahead and talk about the Maverick at the very top of the show. Twice. And then he has all that time, and he's nodding off over there. And then all of a sudden,
it's a Bronco.
I'm sorry,
I didn't catch it
made
until I
a
pulled out my
mistake.
notes, and I went, he said Maverick, but I've got a Raptor
Is
here.
the Bronco Raptor available at dealerships right now?
Yes.
No,
This
but
is
the
the
Bronco
22 I was
Maverick
driving,
is.
but the 23
How
is
is
out
he
also.
still married?
I don't know.
Can I ask you that?
The Bronco
Do you-
Maverick
Do
is
you live with
available.
your wife? Do you live with your wife? She
No.
puts up with this?
No.
Okay. Well, at least we're all on the same page.
John's
thanks
been there.
many
Done that.
times. Yes, I have. This is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pointers.
Back after this.
Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier car cruise in returns Saturday, April 15th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Bring your Hot Rod Classic Resto Mod or any other vehicle you'd like to show and compete for one of 3 highly coveted chili pepper trophies. This April 15th kickoff event is one you'll want to put on your calendar because 100% of the money you donate for the free tacos will be given to God's Garage. You heard right. Free tacos. Whatever you decide to give, all of it will be given to God's Garage and matched by Lupi Tortilla. God's Garage gifts vehicles to single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military in the greater Houston area. In fact, the garage will gift a vehicle to a mom in need at this special event. Be sure to attend the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Saturday, April 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Free breakfast tacos for any donation to God's Garage. It'll make your heart and your belly feel good.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Real Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Real Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InRealTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Real Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.
From Texas, it's the In Real Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, well, I don't even know if I've got it. I thought that I brought it down here with me.
What you looking for?
What had sold on Hemmings.
Oh, I thought you had it.
I thought I did too, but I don't see it in here. You know, I'm as bad as Mars.
Here we go, Michael. He doesn't have his headset on. He can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you.
You ignoring me again? Well, he always ignores me.
He's
but
all
that's
wired
okay.
in for sound.
So at any rate, we're going to join Brad Thompson a little bit later again to do the car presentation to the needy
family.
Well, needy female, because that's what God's Garage does, and
Sure.
does it so well. So we're going to do that. And now what I've done is I've also taken all of the stories that I had set aside
And mix them up.
I mixed them all up in here, so I've got to dig them out. So you do the tamp dance, would you?
Do-da-da-da-da. So we're talking about food.
We were talking about food. So if we had, it's a nice crisp day today, would we cook a big thing of chili outdoors?
Yeah.
Not outdoors. Cook it in the house.
Why?
Just because. I
Oh,
wouldn't do it outside. If it's brisk, you don't want to be in the cold.
It's brisk, but it's not that bad. The
Do
wind's not
chili
blowing.
or jambalaya?
The jambalaya. Do you know how to make good jambalaya?
I don't know if I know how to make good jambalaya, but I used to go to a dealership, and you always wanted to go on Friday because that's when they were making jambalaya.
Or the free lunches, period.
Yeah. Well, I can do my piece about things that will disappear from the auto industry by 2030.
I want to hear it.
So antennas, which virtually have disappeared in general already.
Yeah.
You know, the only antennas you really see on cars anymore are the little shark fins for the.
And you really don't see very many of those anymore
No.
either.
Right.
For the XM radios and satellite navigation.
And by the way, may I interrupt and just say this? So I'm driving an electric. I just
saw
took,
that.
I
Mike
took
tripped over the
delivery of
cord.
it on Thursday, the new Chevy Bolt. And as the story that I read last week, no AM radio. I listen to AM radio a lot. So not that it's only because of the content on AM radio. Maybe they're going to move it over to FM, but I don't know. But there's no AM radio this week. So I'm missing my Michael Berry. Just had to say that. Throw that in there.
Yep.
Electric cars, no AM radio. Go ahead.
And then they're saying that sedans are actually going to go away because there's been such a rush to SUVs and CUVs that the industry is going to phase out the true four-door
somebody
sedan.
will make them.
Yeah. But who's making them now?
Dodge.
Dodge is, Cadillac is in the CT4, CT5, But Ford's really kind of gotten out of this.
Oh yeah, they're out of cars.
Yeah.
They're not in the car.
When you say sedan, you think of a 4-door car.
And to break Jeff's heart, station wagons.
Oh,
are
I know.
To be going away.
Well, they've been.
They're already an
phasing out.
endangered species. There are very few
Sort of like
station
me.
wagons that are out there right now. I think Volvo
Sort of like
sells
me.
a wagon. Ford sells that. What is that? Not the Edge. The
Well, I had
Escape.
I had a Kia 4-door sedan. Had a Hyundai 4-door sedan. Both very nice cars. Very nice cars.
CD players have virtually gone away.
Yeah,
already.
I don't even know anybody that has them anymore.
So
I've got
one
one
of the
mine.
car-
Mine's in dash.
Yeah, but how old's your car?
10.
A 2010.
No, 13. My car's 10 years old. It will be 10 years old.
Now with all of the Apple Play and everything on your dash, you're just playing pretty much everything off your phone. So
Well, you've
there's
got
no
one of
need-
those devices in your bed.
There's no need for a CD player anymore in a car
No, I mean I can stream it
with
from my
the
phone.
Bluetooth connections.
That's
Yeah.
the
what I'm talking
Bluetooth
about, yeah.
connection that goes in the
They're
cigarette
saying
lighter.
standard car batteries are probably going to go away as well because of the EV, the battery systems in the EVs. The true 12-volt car battery is probably going to be considered a thing of the past.
Well, I will say this, that there are still and will be, for even my children and grandchildren's generation, those cars will still be around and will still need 12-volt batteries.
Oh, yeah, for the existing cars, but this is cars in production and come 2030. Spoilers, spoilers used to be a unique special option, kind of designated a car that was a little higher contented,
Yeah.
a little sportier. Well, that's probably going to go away because so many of the aerodynamics that the spoiler gave is now just built into the car itself.
Mr. Mars, would you be so kind as to go and let the Sues out? Thank you so much. You're not doing anything down there anyway. Screwing it up.
Custom exhaust tips.
What?
Custom exhaust.
Custom?
Well,
What is a custom exhaust?
think
tip?
about how many Corvette people change the exhaust on their Corvettes.
And mine's got a catback system on it, a Corsa.
So all of that's probably going to go away because of the electrification. There's no need
Well, of
for
course.
that.
Well,
Diesel,
same thing for oil. Quarts of oil. Good luck.
diesel smoke chips. I'm going to roll coal and they're going to blow all the black smoke at you. Well, environmentally, that's probably not a good thing to do, but I think that's going to be a thing of the past as well.
Don't understand it.
Traditional keys, the metal key,
Like I have for the
is
Corvette.
probably going to go away because so many people are going to fobs and the passive fobs that the car unlocks as you walk up to it. And you don't even have to push a button.
There's a cute commercial where an astronaut comes back from Mars and gets to the parking lot on Earth, and the keys are left on Mars.
Yeah,
and the lady opens it up with her phone.
that actually is a pretty decent commercial. Side view mirrors and rear view mirrors are
Yes, going to go to cameras.
going to go to cameras, but that's got to get approval by the federal government.
That's going to happen. That's
But,
going to happen.
NASCAR's doing that. NASCAR's got a screen on their dash.
Right, cameras.
Yeah.
So front grills, the grill on the front of your car.
It serves no purpose.
In an EV, it serves absolutely no purpose.
And it's so funny. And then you got a car maker like Lexus that has this oversized, pretentious grill. And I'm going, okay. And so they keep making this thing and make it bigger and bigger and bigger.
I saw a meme on that last night. I meant to bring it with me. Is the inspiration for that front grill was the robot in Lost in Space. So go pull the robot up from Lost in Space and look at his
chest,
and that's kind of the inspiration for
Well,
the
Mercedes
Lexus grill.
is getting large on that respect too. Mercedes has some of their models have a bigger grill.
So that car out there, a brand new Bolt, it looks like they have stuck a panel over grill, over a grill.
Aluminum siding. That's what it looks like.
Aluminum siding. I think we're going through a very large adjustment period when it comes to
audible turn signals. You usually you can
Tick-tock,
hear ting,
tick-tock,
ting, ting.
tick-tock.
Yeah, that's going to go away because of the digital world. Modern cars use blind spot monitoring and will activate the turn signal for the driver
So,
ahead of time.
When you leave it on and forget you left it on, it won't tell you.
It'll just turn itself off. Headlight switches because so many cars have gone to automatic headlights.
Yeah, and people put them in off position and then drive at night with no lights on at all.
I put mine in off position during the day, but I do turn it on at night.
Why?
Because that's just me.
Because he can.
It's there. I got to play with it.
Remember the big rush for halogen lights?
Yes,
Well,
I sucked into that.
halogen lights are going to go away,
course
and
they
everything's going to go LED.
Yeah, that's what I put on the Corvette.
Put on the Corvette, yeah.
Which I might say are very cool on
They
your
are.
car. Yeah, because we looked at them the other
Well,
day.
the thing about that is it's also a very white light or a blue light. You know, lights get brighter when there's a little bit of a blue tint to them. So hydraulic power steering's going away. You know,
Electric.
everything's
drive-by
going
wire.
electric, right? Rear view mirror dimming switches. Remember, you always had the little toggle on the bottom of the rear view mirror, and you could tilt it up or dim it. Well,
And
that's all going
And as a matter
automatic.
of fact, the Chevys that I'm driving, the option is you can turn it up in what would normally be the nighttime setting. Well, that's now the camera. And then you turn it into the daytime setting, and that's
The mirror.
really the mirror.
Oh, okay. Manual seat adjustments. So, you know,
I still like those. I still like manual seat adjustments. The Corvette doesn't have that.
as opposed
yeah,
to
either
electric.
way, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
to me. Well, if you got
So
a
it's-
driver's power, then sometimes the passenger's the
Manual.
But it's so easy with the manual, and you don't have to wait for it. You pull up the bar, move the seat where you want it, let go of the bar, and it's there.
And if it's electric, you push and hold number one for
For
a
the
couple
memory,
of seconds,
yeah.
and then it's memoried to the key fob.
Whatever.
Spare tires, you know, they went with the donut spare, and now spare tires have virtually gone away
Yep.
because they're trying to take that extra weight out of the car, and you get a can of Fix-A-Flat, which is not good for just not good for a
It
tire.
ruins the tire
Well,
and
it's
sometimes
a temporary
the wheel.
fix, and what's really bad is if you don't tell the technician, and they bust that tire down, and there's all that goop all over everything, and it's just bad.
You know, and then, you know, they're putting so many run flats on cars. And run flats are good, but run flats, you need to go to somebody who knows what they're doing to break down a run flat off the wheel, because you can tear a wheel up pretty quick trying to put a run flat on.
Yep. Run
You don't
flats
know
are
what you're doing.
stiffer sidewall, different type of compound, heavier duty rubber.
Hubcaps are going to be a thing of the past.
Darn. I won't be able to go to Walmart and buy me a pack of 4 hubcaps for $20
With spinners.
with spinners on them.
So,
You got a birthday coming up. You just might get some hubcaps.
he just had a birthday when
I've got the hubcap up there that's
I see
been with
that.
me forever.
Yeah.
I got that up the side of the road. You know what it is?
It's off a Ford, isn't it?
No.
It's a Rambler.
It's an American Motors hubcap.
Little dog dish.
Dog dish hubcap.
So those are things that are going away from the auto industry.
and there's Don Armstrong going.
And
on.
well, you know, there's probably more, but that's kind of the list I had started.
Well, on that note, Kylie's been driving.
How's that
more
been
and more.
working for you?
I haven't been with her.
This
but
is
I know
his
that she's driving.
granddaughter. Is she driving Grandma's car?
Yeah. Well, her and Grandma. Yeah.
Right.
And her and her mom.
Yeah.
And I sent you a picture
I saw that.
last night. She showed me her temporary permit,
Mm-hmm.
and I put it next to a margarita glass and said, "This is our driver for the evening." Didn't go over well.
No, I'm sure it did.
No. You can't do that, Jeff. Yes, you can.
Too late.
Tesla easily captured the U.S. luxury vehicle sales crown for 2022.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Mars, do
Are
we
we
need
going
to
to go to
move?
Zoom?
We're going to go to Zoom?
Well, I can't pick up his audio for some reason. I think my
Yeah, the audio's there. He's turned it on.
It's there, but he's not zoomed
Uh-oh.
into it. So yeah,
How do we
you
get
just
him-
let me know when we're ready to do that, okay? Okay. Among all luxury players, and regardless of fuel type, Tesla had 484,351 new vehicle registrations for a 41% increase over 2021.
Thank you, Elon.
BMW had 327,000 new registrations, a 5.3% drop. Mercedes had a nearly identical number, 269,000. So Tesla has now passed BMW and Mercedes in sales.
Oh, yeah. Well, everybody knew that was gonna
Tesla's
happen.
results represent the first time it topped the luxury segment, and it did so without the benefit of any gasoline engine products at all.
I think we're missing something here. We got Mike. Can you turn on that audio with him?
We don't know what's going on. Nobody's talking to us, and Mars isn't talking to us. So, I
Well,
can't.
based on what we're watching.
All right. Well, I'm not going to bother with that. You tell me when you're ready. Handful of legacy automakers doubled or tripled their EV registrations last year, but barely dented Tesla's overwhelming lead with 64% of the market. Ford was number 2 with 7.5% share. Legacy
big
automakers launched exciting new electric vehicles. I don't know who wrote what's exciting about them, including the Ford F-150 Lightning and the Kia EV6. But they barely dented Tesla's outsized market share as battery electric vehicles surged to 5.6% of U.S. light vehicle registrations from 3.1%.
Saw my first Hummer EV this week.
Oh, you did?
It was
Where?
up in the Woodlands.
Really?
It was a white one. Pretty cool looking truck.
Yeah.
I see the Rivians, and I also see the Polestars on the road.
I see some Polestars.
It's a cool looking car.
Will they stay in business?
Yeah. Well, the only Rivian, they sell that van I saw was on a wrecker, and it was an Amazon Rivian van on a wrecker.
Well,
Oops.
I got to see a Rivian over at John Gray's Gulf Coast Auto Shield. He was putting a wrap on it or something, a clear wrap, raw or something. And boy, talk about impressive.
Well, he had one there when we did the remote.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And talk about impressive.
That's when.
Yeah.
The
I
fit
missed
and
it.
finish, the paint, the attention to detail on that car.
You like it?
Oh, my God. You're going to go, are you kidding? This came off an assembly line? It looked like a one-off custom car.
show car.
Yeah. You got a little something going on there?
Yep.
Do you need a little Kleenex?
It's a
Little
mustache hair.
mustache
Oh, boy.
hair?
Itching my nose.
Uh-huh.
You want it?
No, I do not. Thank you for offering.
I could pull it out.
Production of the F-150 Lightning will remain down until at least the end of next week as Ford Motor Company fixes an undisclosed battery problem that caused one truck to catch fire this month.
Don't
The
tell
fire-
Buzz.
The fire occurred in a Dearborn, Michigan holding lot on February 4th during a pre-delivery quality inspection and spread to 2 other vehicles. The
That's usually what
spokeswoman
happens.
said that she believed that it had identified the root cause of the fire but did not elaborate. The company was not aware of any potential issues with Lightnings that already had been delivered.
Here we
Okay,
go.
we're
We got
gonna
a
cut
thumbs
away.
up.
We got audio?
Well, let's look. Okay, I'm listening.
So, C. Marie, I've worked hard to say that properly. You've gone through our seminar. You've been on our donor list for a year. I'm sorry, but we've been here for a year. Just give us an idea what it's like to not have a car in Houston.
Oh, not having a car in Houston is very bad because the struggle is real, the connection, and the bus not being on time, always late, and sometimes you have to accommodate with all the passenger. It can be really challenging.
Okay, step this way just a little bit. We're going to try to be loud enough that they can hear us. So when you go to the grocery store or anything, I mean, you told me earlier about a story of trying to be in Katy and get downtown. How'd that go?
It wasn't really bad because I'm new here in Houston, so I didn't know some area of Houston you have to commute. So I went to the storage, and the buses is only in the morning and afternoon. So when I went
So just 2 the whole day?
to all day, yes, sir. They start at 6:30 in the morning and finish at 9. So when you miss the bus at 9, you have to wait until 3:30 in the afternoon because they created that for people who live in the suburbs in Katy
Oh, yeah, okay.
to go work downtown.
So you've been, and it's okay to say you've been in multiple shelters.
Yes, sir.
You came to us through the Mission of Yahweh, who helped you out. So tell us about your trucking, your CDL class.
Oh, yes. I'm actually almost graduating for CDL from trucking, and I'm going to do the endorsement for flatbed, SNAC. So I reconsider my career because I have a background in nursing and financial business, but being this situation in the shelter and with my daughter, I have to be able to provide for my daughter and after COVID. So I choose the opportunity. I took the opportunity. The Mission of Yahweh was offering me with a scholarship to go through the CDL to the trucking because it's in a higher demand and the salary is really good.
So you've got a English accent, and then you went to Seattle
Yes.
and couldn't get out of there fast enough. Right. And then you came here, and we don't talk right here either. So you've got a really unique accent, but tell us how it's going to change your life to have a car.
Oh, changing. It's going to be amazing. I cannot even imagine it. I couldn't sleep because I don't know what to expect. It's going to be a life changing. You know, people who donate cars they do not understand the struggle when you're a single mom coming to a town, you know nobody, and you have a child, you have to go to school and you have to do shopping. I don't know what to say. I have no word. Is going to be changing me a lot. Yeah. Because somewhere I can go in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It takes me 2 hours. Yeah,
you told me earlier that you can only plan like one thing a day.
Yes.
Because of the amount of time it takes to get to the bus, wait on the bus, get where you're going.
Yes.
Stumbling with groceries on and off the bus. So, you know, I don't know if you know, but we get 120 applicants a month. Is what we averaged last year, right, Justin? 120 a month, and it takes us a while to get to people, and we only really give away about 10% that make it into the system. So I really appreciate you coming and being part of this and making this your last interview. But today you get your call.
So she's getting her car, and she did not know that she was getting a car.
Too. Nice. Look at that.
So this is your car.
Life changing.
I can't imagine.
Very.
We don't have buses and stuff over where I live, so I mean, somebody without a car, you're just stuck. I mean, there's...
So you can go check it out.
So she didn't know that she was getting a car today. And this is what God's Garage does. And there you go. So she's now taking delivery of her new refurbished car that didn't cost her anything. She struggled to make a living and get groceries and do the things that she had to do to support her daughter and herself. And not knowing anybody in Houston. And she's now been presented a car that she had no clue that she was going to get today.
And still maintain a career.
Yeah. And a new career at that,
Yes.
learning how to add additions onto her CDL license. And I'm sure that she's telling everybody how much she appreciates it. Unfortunately, we can't hear that. But, you know, we've been fortunate to actually go in and see this presentation at God's Garage, who's having their grand opening today up there in Conroe. And there are several hundred people there. They're going to have lunch after this presentation. But you can only imagine, you know, the emotions that she has. And it's emotional for me.
We always do when we gift a car, we gather around and we pray over the vehicle and over the recipient of our car. So we just want to, if you want to join us, you don't have to, but if you want to join us, we just want to pray over the car.
So he's talking to all of the attendants that are up there.
Yeah, we're going to pray over the car.
That are in attendance
Volunteers.
up there. Yeah, all of that. So at any rate,
And
anyway,
if any of our listeners are interested, I've posted again godsgarage.org.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in making a donation or if you have a car that you would like to donate, contact them.
In addition, lunch is being provided by Lupe Tortilla there.
yeah, Stan
Holtz.
offered
I
lunch.
can't
and
imagine
Sheila Holtz.
you got 120 people like her that have these stories
Monthly.
of need. How do you drill it down and say, okay, only 10 or 12?
Well,
it's
and
all we can
that's-
do.
They vet all of these people that apply, and they drill it down to those that they feel are most worthy,
Most
and-
needy of it. Yeah.
and
And it sounds like that person has to go through some training as well, because the car itself can be life-changing, but the intent of God's Garage is to help that life-changing process
Exactly.
besides just the car.
Right. Yeah.
it's an emotional thing, and you can only imagine.
You know, Brad would give away $500 a month if he could.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's just a matter of the general public participating
And
and helping him. with
We
that.
hear of other organizations that take cars for charity and that sort of thing. Most of them turn the car. You donate it. you get a charitable donation on your income tax return, and then they go out and they sell it to either a used car lot or whatever. But they don't do what Brad does and take the donation, fix the car. Usually the cars come in with some sort of a problem, or 2 or 3 or 5. Yeah. They fix the car that they feel that they can afford to fix because they're on a budget as well. And it's really a wonderful thing that we were very fortunate to fall into and get to meet Brad and become a part of God's Garage.
And they're gifting vehicles to single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military throughout the Conroe and greater Houston area.
Yeah.
That's their motto.
Yeah. And so it's a great deal. And, you know, if you feel it in your heart, give them cash, give them a car, give them your support.
Give them time.
Yeah, exactly.
Be a volunteer to work on the car.
A lot of these people are volunteers to work on the cars or to just help keep the facility up.
Like they're all volunteers. There's I don't think, but there's maybe 1 or 2 that actually.
I think he has 1 or 2 masters.
Actually have a salary, right?
Justin is the one, one guy that kind of runs everything while everybody else is off working their regular job.
Yeah.
And they just hired him this past year.
Yeah.
So they've been doing it on their own.
Somebody's got to sweep the floors and run errands and clean the cars up before you hand them out.
But not only that, they had their personal company truck stolen.
Right.
They've gone through the rebuild and building of this facility, so they've got like things going on.
Yeah. Well, and this is a brand new facility, all through the help of donations, not because it's somebody's deep pockets. This is a concerted effort with everybody all joining together to make this thing happen. It's really impressive. It's moving. It's a wonderful thing that they're doing up there for these single women.
And well, Brad's also been featured on some of the news stations that doing what he does as well.
Yeah.
So he's getting support there.
Yeah. And I guess we're just very fortunate to be riding on the coattails here. And
I'm going to go back to that shot.
Okay. Well, there they are. So she's been presented the car, and it's going to be a
nice
great
looking car. Too.
It is.
It's a Buick, I think.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
I'll take a Buick.
Tub it out.
Yeah. Right. Okay, well, it's time for us to take a quick break, and we're going to wrap up today's show on a good note and wrap it up and say goodbye to you here in just a second. We hope you'll stay with us.
Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier car cruise-in returns Saturday, April 15th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. Bring your Hot Rod Classic, Resto-Mod, or any other vehicle you'd like to show and compete for one of 3 highly coveted Chili Pepper trophies. This April 15th kickoff event is one you'll want to put on your calendar because 100% of the money you donate for the free tacos will be given to God's Garage. You heard right. Free tacos. Whatever you decide to give, all of it will be given to God's Garage and matched by Lupi Tortilla. God's Garage gifts vehicles to single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military in the greater Houston area. In fact, the Garage will gift a vehicle to a mom in need at this special event. Be sure to attend the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday, April 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Free breakfast tacos for any donation to God's Garage. It'll make your heart and your belly feel good.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In-Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWillTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise Inn, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We thank you very much for joining us. Hey, when you're online, check out our Facebook page. Give us a like, if you will. Tell your friends about us and share your junk, if you would, please. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long, including new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing events, and other informative and entertaining goodies. You can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Be sure and catch the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on InWheelTime.com. Every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Daily 30-minute podcasts are available from over a dozen of the most popular podcast providers. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing, Advertising Manager, and Video Technical Director is We Need More, Jeff Zekin. For Booking Agent, Podcast Shenanigan Maker, Mike Mars, and Mr. Know-It-All, his royalty, King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Be sure and join us again for the next live 3-hour In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, Saturday, February 25th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time on all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and let's visit again next week. So long for now.